From the Raw Boxing TV studios, your host, Ranger. Information may cause headaches to hates or biased casual fan. The host that gives you facts with very little feelings. From the city of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, the man who floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee, Louisville, Kentucky. It's showtime.
Welcome to those of you that will take time to spend with me tonight. Welcome to the Raw Boxing TV arena. I've been gone for a minute. You ain't got to tell me. I know that for a fact. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, I'm a very busy person. I'm almost never in town. When I'm in town, I have to divide myself from being a father, a husband, a YouTuber, a car enthusiast, or whatever enthusiast. And so, you know, I got to pick my choice, pick the days that I do videos. And let me adjust this a little bit. Pick the days that I do videos, and most definitely make sure that whatever I'm going to talk about interests me, really. I don't want to just create content to create content. So therefore, we're here, man. Let me see. I want to send a shout out to MMA Champ Boxing, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of those of you that will be here. We're going to give it a few minutes just to allow people to come in. Remember, as you come in, to hit the thumbs up so YouTube can start sending notifications. And we're going to talk about a few things, man. Not just Deontae Wilder. There's a few things going on. Deontae Wilder is just the opening subject to this live stream. How's that? The opening one. Because in my opinion, it's a very short one. It's a very sweet one. But, you know, why not? Let's open with the king to the state. So we'll give a few minutes. Just like to remind you as you come in, man, just hit the thumbs up. If you don't mind, grab the actual link. Go to where it says share, grab the link, drop it on your social media platforms. You never know who may be interested on this type of content, man. You know, Iron Kong 26 in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, man. We'll be starting here in a few moments. We're just going to allow YouTube to do its thing and start sending some notifications out. Ricardo Martinez in the building. What's going on, brother? Take a chill pill, Ricardo. We'll go into that in a minute. Hope everybody's being safe, man. I know I've been gone for a minute, like I said, but brother got to go get the paper. Brother got to do the things he's got to do, you know? I'm constantly out of town. Follow me on Twitter. You know, I usually update where I'm at. Hey, you never know. I might be staying in your hometown one of these days. You know, we might kick it together. You never know. So follow me on Twitter at RawBoxingTV, man. And you never know. Puerto Rican Rome in the building. What's up, man? Saludo. ¿Cómo estás? Hope everything's well. We're going to be getting into this in just a little bit. Let's just allow YouTube to start sending the notifications out. And just remember, hit the thumbs up. Boxing. YTBC. Very interesting. Very interesting what's going on. And we're going to talk about it. L-Dub Boxing. What's good, brother? Welcome to the live stream. Ricardo, I try to be a little funny from time to time. So yeah, the thumbnail, you know, the thumbnail's got its purpose, though. The thumbnail's got its purpose. And those lurking in the dark know what the purpose is. Those lurking in the dark know what the purpose is. Those lurking in the dark know I come straight up. I don't be hiding nothing. I'm not out here seeking acceptance. The reason I named my channel Raw Boxing TV is because my content is to be raw in the way that I see it. I'm not going to modify my comments just because I'm seeking for your approval, for your thumbs up, for your subscription. Although that I am seeking for that, what I'm trying to say, I'll never compromise my principle in exchange for that. Let me get caught up here in the comments real quick. Hey, first question. L-Dub Boxing. We'll get into that in a minute, brother. Brown's gone one. Yo, what's up, man? I like the thumbnail. I'm okay with the thumbnail. We'll get into that. Like I said, the thumbnail's got its purpose. It has a purpose. And I already see some people or sense some people, and forgive me if I'm misjudging, but I already sense some people that are falling for it. The jazz musician, man, I haven't seen you in a while, brother. How you doing, man? The jazz musician. 78 Sports TV, Wilder said he wasn't retiring, and Suleiman lied. That's what we're gonna go into it. That's exactly what we're gonna go into it. Because like I said, here at RawBoxingTV, we give it to you raw, but we also want to give it to you honest. And the rumors, I think the rumors are fueled a lot by the hate against Deontay Wilder. I truly believe that. Let's go ahead and start, just out of respect of those of you that are already here. I know a lot of my homies are live tonight, so it's unfortunate that I have to go live. But like I said, my time is very limited, especially when I'm in town. It's very limited, so I have to do my content, upload my content whenever I have the time. And it's gonna be like this all the way till December. It's looking like, so I'm gonna be just going everywhere. So, but Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. See, the jazz musician says, the jazz musician. So but I'm good. Oh, good, man. Good, man. I'm glad you're good, brother. Let's go into it, man. Look, at the end of the day, we got to talk about this and try to remain as objective, as honest, as unbiased as possible. Like I said, I think the rumors are fueled. The biggest fuel when it comes to these rumors are it's called hate towards Deontay Wilder. Now, but we got to go into it though. Why the hate? Who started the hate? Who created the hate? Who fueled the hate? And who's keeping the hate alive? Ladies and gentlemen, I like to advise you in manners like this, when it says a boxer is retiring, until you see the boxer himself come out and say, I'm done with this, I advise that you guys don't even believe it. I advise that you guys don't contemplate on it. I advise that you guys don't fall for the trap of some people trying to inject to you that the man is retiring just because they want you to sit in front of their cameras. When you hear them coming up with all kinds of excuses, you need to bring it to a stop. You truly do. Tony Boswell in the building. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for the little gift this week, man. Hope everything's good for you. God bless you, brother. Thank you. I was trying to figure out a way to text you or reply to your gift this week, man. And I think I did. I hope you got the message on Cash App. But I appreciate the support, man. But look, let's not forget something here. Deontay Wilder was a fighter that, until he fought Tyson Fury, he was a person that was well liked amongst the majority of the boxing community. And I say the majority and not everybody, because no boxer ever is fully liked 100% by the entire boxing world. That is a lie. If somebody tells you everybody loved this person, that is an entire lie. We can look at the biggest names in the sport of boxing, the most humble people in the sport of boxing, the best humanitarians in the sport of boxing, and we can see that there are millions of people that love them. Yeah, millions of people that love them. But always the little bunch that hated them. And Deontay Wilder's no exception. You know, when he was the champ, when he was the guy that was the kryptonite to everybody, he was the guy that could put you out to sleep. I remember I used to look at Deontay Wilder with this alpha male mentality. He had this alpha male aura to him. I was like, man, this dude sucks when it comes to boxing. But the man is dominant with just that punch. This dude is never gonna lose. This is a raw dude. Oh, so I thought. The hate towards Deontay Wilder came, in my opinion, my humble opinion, after he fought that second time and he came out with those allegations about the gloves. And he wasn't the inventor of it. So let me retract that. He carried it on after a while. It all started from some dude up in Canada and some sparring partner, which, by the way, they showed a glove. And that glove is actually no evidence, because I can walk into a gym, spar with you, and then while you're not there, I can go towards another glove, grab it, tamper it, record myself saying that this is the glove you used against me. Right? I can put it online. How many people you think is going to believe me? Especially if you and I are, if you're a well-known person, a bunch of people. It all started there. Now, what made it worse was when Deontay Wilder came out and subscribed to the narrative. What made it worse is when Deontay Wilder was just excuses after excuses after excuses after excuses. And it got to the point when we all started seeing, or at least me, I was like, okay, so this dude, my opinion, this dude was straight up street. This dude was straight up a warrior in there. And I started seeing Deontay Wilder without the shield and with a skirt on, if you know what I mean. Just excuses, nonsensical excuses after nonsensical excuses after nonsensical excuses. It all started there, in my opinion. And I think that hate that he created, that he watered, right? I think that hate is what fuels in part this rumor, you know, that when anything comes out about Deontay Wilder, especially if it's in a negative fashion, people will make content out of something that has no content, right? In a negative way to affect Deontay Wilder. And I don't like it, but I understand it up to a certain level. Because Deontay Wilder's got his little crew that he rolls with out here in the YTBC. Deontay Wilder has his little crew that, in my opinion, doesn't care about Deontay Wilder, even though they tell you they do. Deontay Wilder has his little crew that have sold their souls to the devil for fast cars and clicks. Paper greens and clicks and subscriptions and chats, super chats. They have started pushing narrative without noticing that this narrative, instead of helping the fighter, was in fact doing the opposite and destroying the fighter's image. Because none of the narratives ever had any conclusive, any real evidence that will prove their accusations beyond a reasonable doubt. It is that same hate that they all came together to plant underground, to water it, to later on try to harvest good fruits out of it. And they did. Wilder didn't. See, Deontay Wilder, if you ever see this, these people have never cared for you. You thought they cared for you. But you got to understand something. The money will turn brothers against brothers, and sons against daughters. Imagine some YouTubers, just because they got the same skin complexion as you, they don't care about you, bro. They don't give a damn. They saw an opportunity at making thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of subscriptions on your back, and they used you as their famous slave to carry their narrative. And like a fool, you fell for it. We're gonna go into the chats in a little bit, man. Let me get some stuff out of my chest, and then I might open the channel up for a few minutes and just hear what you guys got to say on other things we're gonna talk about tonight. But I've been everywhere. Major Key Boxing. Everybody go and check them out, man. Major Key Boxing. Mike C in the building. El Coda, what's up, my brother? What's up? What's up? Anthony Brill. Oh, Anthony Brilliant. What's up, brother? Hope everything's good with you, man. I hope everything's good with you. But I think that what happened actually was with Deontay Wilder is when you start subscribing to this narrative, being as famous as you are, when you start grabbing the opportunity that this narrative is creating to victimize yourself even more when you grab and bring in people that are not guilty and calling them traitors and sellouts and all these kinds of things, and all of that fuels the hate that later on people use to come after you. In my opinion, Deontay Wilder is still a decent fighter, not technical, but a decent fighter. I still got to see his mental game where it's at. Because the way he has freaked out over the last year and some change, that has me thinking his mental game is gone. He doesn't know how to come back from this. He still hasn't recovered the king mentality till this day. Till this day, I'm telling you right now. But is it retiring? No. I won't believe it until I hear him say it out of his own mouth. Has he mentioned probably retiring? Maybe. Mentioning that he might give it a thought or giving it a thought, does that mean he's actually retiring? No, absolutely not. Never. See, Deontay Wilder has too much to prove. If he truly lives by the code that he has professed to live by, the code of the streets, the code of fighting for his people, the code of being a king, the code of being a warrior, Deontay Wilder, you cannot retire until you come back and get some real smoke. And when I say real smoke, I don't mean no dude with some no. The heavyweight division is packed right now with top positions that you can come back and redeem yourself if you still got it in your head. Because I know you still got it here. But do you have it here? Do you have it here? Deontay Wilder. You know, I wish I actually knew you personally, Deontay Wilder. Because even if you hated me, I would love to sit down with you and just carve at your head for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll get you so angry you'll be wanting to go back to that training camp and kill somebody. But that's what we need from champs. We need champs to get up from the floors, shake the dust of their shoulders, back to the drawing boards, and back in the fight game. Instead of talking and crying and making all these excuses with cheap production, talking about the Bible says this, and that. Stop using the Bible to increase the credibilities of your lies. You have accused a man named Brilliant, a man that in reality saved your life, in my opinion, that night. You cannot retire until you come back and get in the ring with Andy Ruiz. You cannot retire until you get some from the body snatcher, Dillian White. You cannot retire until you come back and at least try to work your way up in the game to position yourself to get an AJ or whoever. You can't be retiring without facing these people. I know you're not retiring because I ain't heard that from you. And I'm not going to believe it until I hear it out of your mouth. But if the thought ever crosses your mind again, I got to tell you this. You can never come on publicly talking about you's a king. A king of what? The dude that got beat and psychologically never knew how to deal with it to the point that he created an entire soap opera of excuses and then wound up retiring? Give it a thought. And then tell me if that makes any sense. Give it a thought. And then tell me if that's a king mentality. Give it a thought. And then tell me that's a real champ mentality. And if you want a true homie advice, call all his channels and tell them they put some respect on your name. Not the way they've been doing it. The way they can show respect towards you is to tell them to stop making lies using your name. And you got to unsubscribe from their lies too. And you got to start being a man in the same way you go to these channels that come with a platter. Yes, Master Deontae, what shall I say it tonight? What shall I what sort of narrative shall should I speak tonight? In the same fashion you go to those channels, now you have to reverse the role and come to the channels that will actually challenge you with true questions. Show us you're a true king. Show us you're a true champ. How the hell you gonna be the person you claim to be, but you only go into the channels that's willing to serve questions in a silver platter? At the end of the day, you got a whole spectrum of fans out here that all they want is the truth, and the truth is composed of a story. And usually, accusations has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, guess what? To prove an accusation beyond a reasonable doubt, there is a coin. The coin has two faces. One's true, one is false. How do you determine which one's which? You got to see both sides of the faces. But if you just go into them channels talking about, yeah, because I'm a king, and Mark Brillin, he spiked my water, and that's all we hear, some dummies out there is gonna believe you. But people like me, I'm the kind of guy that wants to hear both sides of the story, analyze, create my own conclusions, because I'm free and I'm a man. And I like to give opportunities where there's none. I would like to give you the opportunity where there isn't. Whether it means something to you or not, because I know I'm nobody. But morally, how can you go to bed at night knowing that what you're saying might be 90% a lie? Everything I've said, I think, is the very factor that fuels the hate, that pushes people to go after Deontay Wilder in a negative fashion. I truly believe so. I truly believe so. Not all boxers do that. I disagree, L-Dub. Not all boxers do that. There's a few boxers, unfortunately, that I wish they spoke English, and I wish they felt comfortable in YouTube. But I have seen them go to TV shows that are very hostile against them, and they go in there and go at it because they want to bring out a point. Deontay Wilder. If Deontay Wilder was to retire tomorrow, next year, without fighting a credible opposition, Deontay Wilder will retire a millionaire, yes. Deontay Wilder will retire having his name written in the history books of boxing. But Deontay Wilder will also retire as the man who was defeated physically, mentally, emotionally, and never was able to rebound. Ever. Deontay Wilder needs to come back. Deontay Wilder needs to fight a credible opponent. Deontay Wilder needs to fight Andy Ruiz, Dillian White. Deontay Wilder needs to potentially strive for a fight with AJ. Yes, I know AJ and Fury is in the works and is a 2-fight contract. Whatever, that's just 2 fights. It can happen within a year. Right? While AJ and Fury are taking care of their business, then you take care of your business. Fight Ruiz and then fight White. Fight Ruiz and fight White. Let time pass, but let time pass while staying active. Then come back and fight. Man, I guarantee you come back and fight those opponents, even if you lose against one of them, which I highly doubt. Even if you lose against one of them, you will get a lot more respect from people because they're not going to have the chance of saying that dude got destroyed by Fury and never came back. Ever came back. Ever. That's not what I want to see from Deontay Wilder. Some of y'all think that I'm a Deontay Wilder hater. I invite you to find where I've actually hated on him without actually challenging him. I dare you to find where I've had a video going after him without evidence. I dare you to find where I've had a video not getting on him with a good intent. You won't find it. I'm just a person that if you're going to bring such harsh accusations like that, I want you to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt in front of the very people you made the accusations to. That's me. You may not like it. It may be just a little too upfront, but that's just me. That's just me. And in connection to this, again, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe that the Deontay Wilder is going to retire. I won't believe it till I hear it from his mouth. I would love to see Deontay Wilder basically come to his channels and say, yo, let's cut the narrative. Let's cut the narrative because, with all this crying around, we've created something we never intended. Because I truly believe he never intended this got out of hand. And the reason it got out of hand because he never put a stop to it. See, when you let a bunch of hungry hyenas run with a narrative, these nasty hyenas, they're going to come up with whatever it takes to get your clicks, to get your super chats, to get your thumbs up and your subscriptions. But Deontay Wilder actually let it. He let the fire burn. And I think it's burned just a little too much now for his liking. Now he's got to find a way to get the heck out of there. And I think the best way to get the heck out of there is to do a video, go to an opposite channel of an opposite opinion, state your case, be a real man, confess. I hate say confessing your sins, but at the end of the day, that's kind of like what it is. Just say, I might have been out of hand, but that's just what I felt. I'm human. People would understand, man. People would understand, or simply just show up and give us all the evidence that proves everything you've been saying. And then I guarantee you that we really, especially this channel right here, I'll be one of the first ones asking for Fury's head on a platter. But until then, ain't nothing but gossips. Ain't nothing but a soap opera of excuses. That's just the truth. Let me go to the comments here real quick, because I haven't been ignoring your comments. It's just, if I don't focus on what I got to say and get it out quick, I forget it, because the brother is old, even though I look a little young. Major Keep Boxing in the building. MC already said shouts out to those. Tony Boswell, Rap Star Boxing Knowledge in the building. What's going on, my brother? Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, man. What's up, man? What's up? Welcome to the chat. Mike C. Ringside MXBC. Oh, that's your opinion, brother. Have a good night. Have a good night. Let's see. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. But definitely, man, listen, at the end of the day, what we truly want from these boxers is nothing but transparency. What we truly want from these boxers is that if they're going to come out and say what's on their mind, they need to be careful on how they say it, because anything they say is going to be accepted by a bunch of people that don't take their time to analyze things by themselves. And then those people are going to go out with the narrative and infect the rest of the people's. It's time that they start taking responsibility, man. Brooklyn Bushwhacker. The YTBC ruined Wilder's career. Yes and no. I say the YTBC has ruined Wilder's reputation. He can still rebound in his career. His career is not gone. His career is not gone. It might seem like that because we haven't seen Deontay Wilder doing anything. I haven't seen Deontay Wilder with a pair of gloves on, since the day he fought Fury. I ain't seen Deontay Wilder in the gym since the day we saw the footages in preparation for the second fight. I ain't seen Deontay Wilder in anything related to boxing in over a year. It might seem that his career is over, but it actually isn't. I don't think it is. I still think he can rebound. Brilla needs to sue Wilder. I agree. I would have done it too. a long time ago. You know why? People say, "Oh man, you're so evil." Yeah, you are, and I Wilder hater. No. See, you're not looking through the fine line, man. I agree. You're not looking through the fine line if you say that I'm a hater when I say Brilliant should sue Deontay Wilder. Let me break it down for you. I'm Deontay Wilder and you Brilliant. Let's put it that way, right? If I come out with a bunch of excuses and accusations towards you, and I know for a fact that I got the evidence, that I got the receipts, that I can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, and you sue me, I got nothing to worry about. You got everything to worry about. Because now you're going to go down as a trainer that spiked my water. That's a felony. Now you're going to go down as a trainer that plotted against me with the other corner in having some hand wraps or whatever the case was with the gloves that could have potentially caused damage to my health. Now I want you to sue me because now I have to go to court and now I have to present my evidence. And then in the courtroom, since everything that I've been accusing you of, I am certain that it's true and I got the evidence, now you are the one that's in trouble. You, the one that sued me, you the one that's in trouble and not the other way around. Not the other way around. Maybe the courts will force the truth out. Have you thought about that? Have you ever given it a thought in that way? That when we say Brilliant should sue Deontay Wilder, it's not necessarily because we want Wilder to be affected. It's because maybe that is the only avenue that will force the truth out publicly, regardless of who's right or who's wrong. You ain't never given that a thought like that because you're too tied up in emotions. Remy22, what's up, brother? Thank you, man. Thanks for being here. You too caught up in your emotions. I truly believe you too caught up in your emotions. Troy Graham, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat, man. I have to agree with you up to a certain level. I truly believe that once he subscribed to the narrative, he added to the destruction of his reputation. But his reputation was already getting ruined when the pack of wolves out here, pack of hyenas, kept making up lies and video. Look, if you go to one of this nasty, disgusting sewered water worth less than my excrement channels, and you go and look at their archives of Deontay Wilder and Fury, you're going to find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos in regards to this subject. It's the same pack of hyenas that will put out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos talking about Charlo is the boogeyman. Then Charlo talks about Wilder and says Charlo talks about Wilder and says, "Now he got his butt whooped." So now Charlo is no longer the boogeyman. Now they flip the narrative and say Charlo scared Benavidez, and then Canelo is this, and then this is that, and Charlo's. If you haven't caught on to it, if you're still clicking and giving thumbs up instead of giving thumbs down, you have to analyze yourself. You truly have to analyze yourself. They've played out here. Do you know how easy it is to get behind a camera and make up lies, knowing that you ain't gonna have to confront the people that you talking to? Knowing that even somebody like me challenges you in your hometown, like I have, Mr. Akakative, you ain't gonna come out your hiding spot. And then when I come after you with lime juice and razor blades, you block me every which way. And then you talk about, I don't want your smoke. Well, I'm gonna get your smoke if you got me blocked, homie. But you're still a fan of the show, though. Had Deontay Wilder gone to his channels and put a stop to it, I believe his reputation could have been saved a bit. So I kind of agree with Tony, with Troy, but I also think that YTBC did a lot of harm to Deontay Wilder. I agree, Mike C. And I said it. Remember when I did a live stream that I said, people, do not use the image that has been created by the LDBC to say that this is how black folks are? Because this ain't how black folks are. Black folks is just like any other folks. You got your good ones and you got your bad ones. You go to my Cuban community, we got the good ones and we got the bad ones. You go to the white community, you got your good ones and you got your bad ones. You go to the whatever community and you got your good ones and you got your bad ones. But the problem is, when we start believing in a certain individual just because we share the same color of our skin, that's a huge problem. You got to start believing in an individual once you have analyzed what he is telling you and you have concluded that, in fact, what he's saying isn't true. It's true. It's true. I trust no man, even if we share the same birthplace. BA10, now BC that this fake rumors, a lot of boxers won't work with Brillin. That's a lot of damage. Yes and no. I truly believe a bunch of these boxers ain't dummies. I believe Brillin's son is here in the chat. Once I throw the link, if he's still around, he probably jump in so we can go a little bit into this, because that is a very good comment. But I truly believe not a lot of these boxers are not dummies, and they know what's going on out here, but they also trying to keep themselves out of the fire, minding their own business, so to speak. So I believe any man can find redemption or be redeemed, but first Wilder must accept his defeat. Until he does that, he will continue with his excuses, and I will continue to say Wilder is retired. I believe any man can be redeemed as well, and I believe any man deserves redemption if he's truly, honestly seeking it. But I agree with you. He's got to come out and do the right thing. He's got to come out and do the right thing. Tycho TV, what's up, brother? Yo, what's up, Ranger? From RawBoxingTV, my boy, my brother. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome, man. Welcome. I know I'll be missing, guys. I've been missing, but listen, for those of you that are here, for those of you that are recently subscribed to my channel, I am a person that travels a lot because of work. And my pattern of traveling is random. It's not a set schedule. And when I'm home, I have to divide myself from being a father, a husband, a provider, and then a content creator. So patience, the content will come out. Some people have been asking me on Twitter if I've been beefing with HCP or Punch because I haven't been in their channel. I ain't beefing with nobody. We cool. It's just I don't have to. They invite me, and I feel horrible every time I tell them I'm out of town. I can't. I truly do feel horrible, but it's the truth. So no, we're not beefing. We cool as hell. It's just me. It's me. I'm always gone, man. I'm always gone. So I do apologize. Well, actually, I don't have to apologize. That's just being honest. I'm feeding my family. But I do thank you for your patience. And if you want to stick around, cool, man. What up? I buy houses. What's up, brother? So, but yeah, man. Let's switch it up a little bit. Um, Eddie Hearn still trying to keep the AJ Fury fight alive in our minds, and I truly hope that everything he's saying is true. I truly hope that we actually get this fight and see it come to fruition. The heavyweight division needs this. Boxing needs this. Speaking Mind Sports says they don't understand RawBoxingTV. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. Keep grinding. Hey, brother. It is. It is. Creating content. I've been at this since 2008. Took a 6-year break. It's not easy. It's not easy, but another thing is, and this is not accusing anybody else. Whoever puts out content 6-7 times a day, congrats. If you're doing it to make a living, I hope the best for you. I hope you can reach 200,000-300,000 subscribers and make $9,000-$10,000 a month in YouTube. I really do hope the best for you. But I don't need YouTube to make a living. And so YouTube is my outlet. YouTube is my sitting in the living room with the homies to speak about the sport that I like, that I love. So with that being said, I don't mind the benefits of YouTube. I'll accept the benefits of YouTube. I use the benefits of YouTube. But what I'm trying to say, I cannot put everything I am aside to focus just on YouTube. So once again, I thank you for your patience and sticking around when you see that I don't upload for a whole week, maybe a week and a half. Just know that it's the content will come. So no. Troy, when I say trying to keep it alive, meaning, so you know how after he announced that the fight was potentially done, that they just needed the venue. By law, they only have 30 days to find a venue, right? And I believe the 30 days have passed or are about to come to pass. So when I say keeping it alive, it means when a promoter is coming out and speaking in positive manner about the fight, like, yeah, giving us hopes, you're not going to be, as a fan, disappointed because, like, oh, damn, we got 2 days left and we still don't have nothing official in this fight. This fight is done. That's the lines in which I'm, what I'm talking about. Because once they sign the paperwork, then they have by law 30 days to come up with a venue. Well, the difficulties of doing that in this times is all of the restrictions because of the pandemic. So that's the only reason I pretty much say that, but I truly hope this fight gets to happen this year, more towards the middle of the year, July, maybe August, the latest. I truly hope this fight happens for the sport of boxing. And I truly hope, once again, I truly hope that while these fighters are taking care of their contracts, like AJ and Fury, I truly hope that Deontay Wilder gets his act together and says, give me a fight. Who you want, Deontay Wilder? Give me the winner of Ruiz and Arreola. I want it. And then once you fight the winner of Ruiz and Arreola, go after the body snatcher, Dillian White. By then, hopefully, AJ and Fury have already taken care of their second fight. And once that's done, then Deontay Wilder can say, look, I'm the guy at the top of the hill once again. I'm here for my medal, baby. I'm going after it. And do you actually think that if Deontay Wilder positions himself in that mountain once again, do you actually think they're not going to be successful at selling a mega fight? You must be about your mind. You must be out of your mind. Hey, Rod, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? If this fighter was to position himself up there once again, they would sell so many pay-per-views. The world would be interested on seeing Deontay Wilder going against AJ or Fury once again. Although Fury, and I understand him, I understand him as a man. Fury's saying, I'll never fight him again. I'll never give him a chance. Nope. I'll never give him the opportunity of getting these belts. I understand it. I truly understand it. But another amount of content daily is not really efficient. YouTube only gives us 3 notifications per day. Yeah, YouTube is weird the way it's working right now, man, to be honest with you. D-Style Boxing in the building. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Welcome to the chat, man. I think you had your show tonight, but hey, man, I gotta put the show, my content when I have time, man. It is what it is, I'll be dropping the link in a few minutes, guys, so we can get into this. Give me your thoughts. What would you like to see out of Deontay Wilder next? We can go a little bit into I haven't actually had an open chat in a while to speak about the AJ. I want to hear your thoughts when it comes to this fight, AJ versus Fury. So we'll see. Let me read this. W realize, okay, Eddie Hearn capping like oil salesman. He is Aaron, and with the BS Hearn is saying he is a fame-hungry narcissist. I think every promoter is a narcissist. I believe so. I believe every promoter is a narcissist. They want that attention on them because it is through that attention that they will be able to promote their fighters. I truly believe so. But I hope you're wrong in regards to the capping thing. I truly do. Because we want to see this fight. Joshua, what's up, brother? So let me go ahead and drop this channel, drop this link, man. I'm going to be here for another 20, 30 minutes. Whoever wants to come in, you're more than welcome to. Let's get into this, brothers. Give me your opinion. I really want to hear your thoughts. Tony Boswell says, White versus Wilder and Andy Ruiz versus Chris. Winner fight one another. Then I agree. That could be a way to do it. That could be a very good way to do it. D Jefferson in the building. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's good with you, Rob? Hey, bro. I just wanted to come tell you, dog. Do your thing, fam. Do your thing, because I spent a whole lot of time when I started my channel everywhere. This is why a whole lot of people know me. I wish to God that Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, the channel, was as big as D Jefferson, because way more people is like D Jefferson's all around. But what people don't understand is, like you said, with your wife, with your life, with your kids, bro, it cannot really be all about YouTube all the time. And so if you never get on my live, but twice a year, bro, I appreciate every time you can make it. Don't even get tied up into that. Don't worry about what people think, because if you do everything perfect, right, everything that people ask, there's still going to be a motherfucker complaining. So keep grinding, bro. Keep doing your thing. We got you. We got your back.
Sure, man. No, man. I've been everywhere, bro. That's what people need to understand. Hey, Rob, what's up? But that's a different individual. Hold on. What is up?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Never showed my face, but now I got the shirt. I got the banner in the back. You know what I mean, show out. Got my channel running just a bit a month. You know what I mean, just
awesome.
came to show some love. Everybody still out here, man.
Man, just check A-Rod out, man. Like I said, I always like to share the love. Go out there, subscribe to them, give them a chance, check their content out. If you like it, stay subscribed, man. And if you don't like it, nobody's forcing you, but at least give everybody a chance to share with you their freaking content. The same thing with D Jefferson, whose channel is Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. So Troy Graham in the building. What's up, man? How you doing?
Chilling. How you doing, brother? How you
I'm
doing?
pretty good. So let's go ahead and get into this, man. So I've already told you guys, I don't believe it for a second that Deontay Wilder's retiring. I won't believe it until I hear it out of his own mouth, right? But I'm actually concerned about the fact that, in fact, we have not seen nothing boxing related when it comes to Deontay Wilder. We haven't seen a training video. We haven't seen Deontay Wilder. Nothing. It's just nothing. So
Well,
whoever wants to take it first, Troy, we've never had you. So go ahead, cook first, and then we'll take D, and then we'll go to A-Rod.
allow me to start it off. I'm gonna say he's not going to retire. He is retired.
Oh,
He is retired. I've been saying that forever. He is retired unless somebody can tell me when his next fight is, who he's fighting, and it has a solid fight, solid date, and what the arena is and all that. He's retired. And the truth is, he has the foundation to be a much better fighter. But when you read your own press clippings and you get into this thing where I can knock everybody out, and then you follow a certain path and you fight mediocre opposition, and then you fight one good guy who you picked because he was coming off retirement, who has a big name, and that doesn't work out. If you don't have the strength of character to take a loss, then you do the things that he's doing. Excuse.
that makes a lot of sense. I truly believe that Deontay Wilder for a long time believed his own hype. He was in that ego to the point that it got to a point. I got to be real with you. It got to a point where I couldn't enjoy one of his press conferences because it seemed to me like he was always angry. He was always somehow painting himself as a victim of I don't know who, and then saying that he was this and that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, but you fought medium opposition. I want to see you with that. I believe that when they picked Fury the very first time, they were trying to cherry pick him. They were trying to cherry pick Fury because of the factors that you just said. The man was semi-retired, was coming off of the attempted suicide, drug, was weighing 400 pounds at once, inactivity, but they never realized that this kid possessed the skills that he did. In my opinion, Fury won the first fight.
Yeah.
But then the shock of the second one, I think that's what really done it for him.
Let me tell you what. Everybody thought he won the first fight.
Go ahead, Troy, and then we'll go to A-Rod. Go ahead, Troy.
No, I was saying that everybody thought he won the first fight, except for the judges, whoever gave it a draw. But everybody thought Fury won the first fight.
Correct. D, give me your thoughts on this, man.
I don't think he's retired, bro. I mean, look at Manny Pacquiao, right? Manny sat out the same amount of time Wilder sat out. Don't necessarily mean he retired. First and foremost, you can chalk everybody up for like a year and out, and anybody who have been out a year for the pandemic. If the pandemic wasn't in play, we probably would have had Wilder Fury 3, right? So a year is not really anybody's fault. A year delayed every freaking body. And some guys, got the fights in during that time and some guys didn't. Now when you go to all of this arbitration and all of this nonsense they've been tied up with for Fury, I really believe a lot of that has to do with his time off. Me personally, and I keep saying this, we always say this about everybody in boxing. A guy take one loss and you want to throw him in the trash. It seems like that rings true for everybody but Wilder. But not with me, bro. I can't throw Wilder in the trash because he only lost one fight. But here's what's significant to me. Right now, the consensus around with everybody is the number one or number two heavyweight is either Joshua or Fury. So yes, he lost one fight, but only to considerably the best heavyweight. It's not like he lost to some average schmo, some run-of-the-mill. So we're just going to throw Wilder in the toilet now? Why? Because we don't like him? Because he's a one-trick pony? Why? Because his fan base is all crazy? No. He gets the same benefit of doubt as every other boxer, in my opinion. And the reality is the guy lost one fight to arguably the best heavyweight. Nah, bro. I'm not throwing him in the trash. I don't think he's done. And personally, if the name is not Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, I think Wilder knocks them the fuck out. That's my opinion on it.
A-Rod?
Yeah, man, I agree with him being the top three still. You know what I mean? He knocked out everybody. The knockout percentage that he has should still leave him up there. And he got too used to just that one right hand, because in the past he showed that he throws combinations, especially like Chris Arreola. I just recently watched that one just to check him out for the Andy Ruiz fight and stuff. And he showed more, but he just got used to being able to knock somebody out, which is not something that we should judge. I mean, if you got that power, then that freaking equalizers, then fucking use it. Why waste your energy? Why waste your time on anything else if you got that thing? But he just underestimated Fury on both fights and didn't prepare himself well. Didn't listen to his coach or whatever it was that it was his problem. But on him, with just waiting on this fight, just clear out the division, bro. You got the knockout power to be able to. Everybody's calling out your name, especially Dillian White's been calling you out for a while, and he's up for being the next one up for a title shot. You know what I mean? So go and get that fight and knock him out and clear him out of the way, so you could get in that spot to be able to get the title shot against AJ or Fury if they don't fight. Which I don't think that fight's happening. I mean, there's too much bullshit going on, and let's see what happens.
True. Now, in reference to what D was saying, I definitely partially agree. I mean, I don't think we should get rid of a fighter for a single loss. I think the question with Wilder is not so much whether he is no longer capable of becoming a world champ. I think right now the question with Wilder, in my book, is at least a psychological aspect, because I can't seem to see him, after all of the excuses he's made. How am I supposed to believe that he's learned how to deal with the loss? How am I supposed to believe that psychologically he's like, all right, man, this was a bad night. This is what I did wrong. Let me go on and get to the drawing boards, and this is what I got to do next. Instead, all we've heard is, my water, my suit, my corner, my this, my that, the judges, the ref, the venue. I mean, my only questions when it comes to Wilder is the psychological aspect, because at the end of the day, we want to, yes, he's a one-trick pony. That's an undeniable fact. But the single pony he possesses can lead you to get metal around your waist. Can't nobody say that's not the case. Well, not everybody is a Fury. Look at AJ. I believe if AJ fights Wilder, AJ could get hit with one of those right hands. And then if he does, I'm not going to say what's going to happen, because we haven't gotten there. But my question with Fury is the psychological. Troy, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, well, I agree with you to a certain extent. I'm going to give you this analogy and then bring it back around to what we're talking about, right?
Okay.
Everybody talks about crabs in a barrel. No one ever takes the time to ask yourself how the hell did they get there? Because a barrel is not the crab's natural habitat, right? So somebody had to put them in the damn barrel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does that make any sense with Deontay Wilder? No one is throwing him away. He threw himself away by making all the excuses and not just doing what he needed to do to actually get back in the damn ring. It's just that simple. No one is. I don't believe anyone can throw you away. But if you follow a certain path, or you never own up to say, well, I lost this fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to train. Okay, you fired your trainer. Who's your new trainer? Oh, well, can't say. Big freaking secret. Why? You understand me? Everything's a secret with him now. Everybody's at his throat. It was the gloves. It was the this. It was the that. You put yourself where you are. Stop blaming others and just say, okay, I did this. I need to go back now and deal with the man in the mirror, wash myself clean, because you know what? As human beings, we all go through something. Time for me to come back. Let me tell you what, if he does that, everybody likes a comeback story. And as it clearly states, you can have no test without you can have no testimony without a test. This is his test. And if he walks it through, he'll have a powerful testimony, and people like me can shut the hell up. Okay.
Right. And I've stated it myself. I said if Wilder was to just come back and at least just face the fire for a little bit, I'll be the first one making a video in his defense. But I just don't want to be the guy that's gonna believe just one side of the story and run with it. You see what I'm saying? I want to hear both sides of the story. Then I want to analyze the situation, and then I'll come up with my own conclusion. And also, again, I'll repeat it in case nobody's heard it. My thing against Wilder is not that he can no longer be a champ. I'm just simply questioning where is his state of mind since the last time we seen him in the ring, because usually you hear a fighter talk about his mistakes. I've only heard Wilder talk about everybody else's mistakes. My water, my corner, the referee, the judges, the whatever, that. But I've yet heard Wilder say, you know what? I should have relied a little more on my entire boxing ability. Well, what is that? Well, I should have put a little bit of hooks in there, a little bit of uppercut, jabs to the body. I should, instead of worrying about, I haven't heard anything like that from Wilder. And because I haven't heard anything like that from Wilder, and all I've heard is excuses, then that's why I'm saying I might be wrong, but I don't think psychologically he's dealt with the loss correctly. I don't think psychologically he's ready for a mega comeback. And I truly believe that on the lead up to the second fight, if you look at his demeanor on the lead up towards the second fight, I think Tyson Fury destroyed him psychologically. Because Tyson Fury was never affected by him opening his eyes and yelling. And Tyson Fury is just as much as a trash talker as anybody else. And I think the thing with Wilder in my book is it's all psychological. I don't care if he's a one-trick pony. I truly believe that the one pony that he has can make him a world champ again. D and then A-Rod.
Yeah, I don't, with Wilder and his mental state and the mistakes he made, I don't even really look, man. A lot of these fighters respond differently. You got young guys like Josh Greer, who's not all in the limelight. He takes his loss. He say, hey, man, you know what? That dude was the better man. I got to get back to the gym. You got guys that take their losses well. You got guys that take their losses bad. Lomachenko came out making excuses. My shoulder hurt. It doesn't matter, bro. My thing is this with Deontay Wilder. I just feel like a lot of the fan base, when there's this guy that's overhyped, their fans are freaking delusional. When they finally lose, it's like, finally, told you. And now so many people have so much disdain for Deontay Wilder, right? It's like they can't let it go. Like, the guy lost his title. He's down and out. Let it go, fam. That doesn't mean, it's just like it's double standard when it comes to Wilder. When it's any other fighter, we would at least listen for his team or him to come out and say, I'm considering or contemplating retirement. We've heard that from no one. Not on Wilder's camp, not from Deontay Wilder. And all of these people are speculating retirement. But every other boxer, we at least listen to them to say that they're contemplating retirement. People are thrusting this on Wilder. I don't care that he made excuses. I don't care that he did all of this dumb shit. That doesn't say to me that he's gone, he's finished, he's done, he's retired. He never said that, fam.
Yeah,
so
I'm not believing.
I just can't get with it until I hear at least someone from his side allude to it. The only thing we're hearing from Wilder's team right now is potential fights. That don't spell retirement to me.
Potential fight?
I said potential fights, whether it was Prince Charles, whether it was the rumor about Negron, whether it was Robert Helenius. That's all we're hearing about Wilder. What's his next potential fight? We're hearing nothing about retirement. The only people we're hearing say anything about retirement is people that literally hate the dude. That's it. They're the only ones talking about retirement. Not his team, not anyone around him, not Wilder himself. They're only talking about his next fights. It's the people that don't like him talking about retirement because he told excuses and shit. Who cares?
Yeah, and I agree. I think, like I said, that I'm not gonna believe it until I hear it out of his mouth. And I think that what's fueled his comments is the hate that that there is out there for him. But I'm gonna let A-Rod go next, and then I'm gonna ask you a question, D, in regards towards the double standards with Wilder.
Okay.
I actually want to respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. On the whole thing, yeah, the mental aspect is fucking crazy to think that somebody's gonna get over something like that. Because even Fury, after that first fight, he was able to just go get 2 more fights to prepare himself to learn how to move away from that punch. You know what I mean? How to roll away from that straight punch that almost knocked them out. You know what I mean? And I think that Wilder, there's nobody that's gonna be able to fucking prepare him to a bulldozer like fucking Fury that was able to manhandle him in the ring. Other than Shaq maybe fucking getting in or just push him around the ring to prepare him for a fight like that. You know what I mean? So he has to try something out before he gets back into that ring and let's see how he does against a guy that moves well around the ring. Somebody that's going to try to fucking rush him, try to fucking outpower him, how to throw punches towards him. You know what I mean? Because from the second fight, from what I see, I don't think Wilder's going to be able to catch him with that right hand again because he prepared well for that punch, and I didn't see that punch landing clean at all in the second fight. I think Wilder should try to get a couple fights before trying to get back in there, but it's up to him. You know what I mean? Let's see if he wants to try to test himself out. Maybe be too soon, but it's all his destiny, right?
Gotcha. Major Key Boxing in the building. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Que voila. What's going on, brother?
Hey, we're here, man. We're chopping it up. You know how I do it from time to time.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you back, though. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I was never gone though. But people,
I'm saying, you could have disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Shown up in like a Mexican cemetery with a shirt that said that you know what I'm saying, like I went to Mexico and all I got with this shitty shirt, you know what I'm saying? But but you here. We love it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I hear you, man. I hear you. Appreciate it.
So I've been following you since you started, right? So what exactly is the question right now? Because I've been waiting in the background and I was talking to wifey while I was waiting to speak.
So what we've been talking about is pretty much the state of mind of Deontay Wilder. Do you think that right now his biggest issue is skills or psychological? In your opinion, has he been able to deal or go past or simply come to terms, listen, Fury destroyed me that night. Now I got to come up with better planning and move forward? Or is it still like hasn't caught up to that yet? And so that we can get let Troy go, and then I got a question for D.
All right, yeah. So all right, I'm gonna put it like this. So we haven't seen him fight, so we won't know that until he fights. Do I want him to fight somebody major yet? No, but yet I have to be completely honest, man. If the fanatics are going to be saying that they want to see Tyson Fury fight him next, right? And shit like that, but then also everybody wants to see AJ versus Fury, right? Then why are we talking about step of fights at all for anybody? You know what I mean? So yeah, because Deontay Wilder got clobbered, I get that, but then he made a bunch of excuses. So this and that. Like I love Wilder, man, but at the end of the day, man, like he's one of the top 5, whichever way you put it. He cannot be outside the top 5, you know. And he did slip up. He has carried himself, but I spoke about this yesterday on a different channel. I can't remember which one, but basically, it wasn't about him particularly. It was about the people that were training him that allowed him to get away with that. And even if they said, he didn't listen, it was still the fact that he was allowed to think that he had that mentality. He spoke about it openly. All I need is 1 second. You know what I mean? You need 12 rounds of perfection. All I need is 1 second. And that's the mentality that he had. You see, so now, yeah, of course, his ego got fucking completely shattered and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like I do want to see him fight somebody like a Dillian White first before he gets in the ring, especially. I hope this AJ and Fury fight happens. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different conversation right there. You know what I'm saying? As far as what I think about that. But at the end of the day, I would like to see Wilder back in the picture. But he has to be like what Troy Graham was saying. He has to admit that he lost. That's it, man. Like, it's okay to lose. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's like perfect. You know what I'm saying? Even the people that we think are perfect had close fights where sometimes people thought that they lost. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And so, it's really hard to put one person that you can clearly say, look, man, this person was like literally like there was no close competition, because there was sometimes close competition with even our favorites. So, as a boxing fan, that's all I got to say, man. And I digress.
Okay. Troy, you wanted to respond to D, and then I got a question for.
Yeah, putting out who you may fight and hypothetical this, hypothetical that. I used to go fishing with my father. There's this thing called hooking and baiting. That's all he's doing is just keeping his silly ass fans on the hook, and maybe somebody out there might pay the price that he wants, and that's all he's doing. But I, I'm gonna stick with it. He's retired. I don't see him stepping back in the ring, and if he steps back in the ring, it's not going to be against anybody in the top 20. I mean, look at the name he's pulled out so far, right? And then there was supposed to be a fight with Charles Martin. I knew 100% that fight would not happen because Charles Martin is in a different. No, I might have said his name wrong, but he's in a different place right now. He's on the upswing, and he would be a tough out. And he's just as big. He's just as tall as Wilder, and he's bigger than Wilder. So what Wilder's doing is a very simple thing. Simply call it hooking and baiting. That's all he's doing. He's not coming back. He's done. He's finished. And you all keep talking about that, but he's done. I tell you what, I hope he does come back, because sometimes people like me need to be taken down the peg. But guess what? I can say 100% that he's not the man to do it. And his fans ain't the man to do it either. So go ahead with that.
Okay. D, you got anything to say before I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, it's simple. Wilder ain't really doing anything, and he ain't done anything his whole career. We know Shelly Finkel and Al Heyman doing that. So whatever's being done, if that's the scenario, I don't know however you want to put it, it damn sure ain't Wilder doing it. He's got handlers, and if he allowed them to let him turn down 100 million, it ain't nothing you can make me believe that he's finagling anything. He allowed them to tell him to let go $100 million. So it ain't Wilder doing anything. Again, to me, that's just a disdain for Wilder, because I don't like Wilder. But let's be honest, what is he actually doing? That man ain't never ran anything concerning his career, and he ain't doing it now. So if any finagling is going on, it would have to be Finkel and Allen, those guys. That's really what it would have to be.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question, because you said something very important earlier when you said that a lot of it is a double standard towards Wilder, or something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, so like out of when it comes to that double standard towards Wilder, how much fault does Wilder play in that double standard?
Well, he takes a big part of it. Once he came out and jumped on board with the excuses, then he takes a big part of that. You reap what you sow, so to speak. So it's not as if I'm defending Wilder in the sense of, he didn't bring a lot of this, or he didn't put a lot of this on himself, because he did. You know what I mean? He brought a lot of this on himself. However, it doesn't matter the dumb shit. Look how much dumb shit Tyson Fury says. We still know that he can beat people up in the ring. You don't see anybody, you know what I mean? We know what he can do in the ring. And he's always saying something ridiculously stupid. So I just, again, my double standard with the fans and my idea of the fans is that it's two things that's really just blaring out at me that they're doing with Wilder that they wouldn't do with your average. Like, one is the one loss. This thing, like, come on, bro. This dude is done. Is done. He's finished. He's retired after one loss. That's one thing I don't think fans are being consistent with. And then another thing with Wilder, where I just don't think that fans are being consistent with. If it was anybody else that reigned for so long, even though he lost to the best champ, they're not just gonna dump him down to like where prospects are beating him and stuff already. Because I hear people talking, Daniel Dubois will get in there and do this. Like, it's getting ridiculous, bro. It's getting ridiculous. with this whole August thing.
Obviously, like we've been saying, you know, like a lot of these rumors are fueled by the hate against the man. I mean,
Yeah.
and obviously a lot of these rumors are nonsensical up to a certain extent, you know, especially in the minds of the fans that actually know about boxing. But then there is those questions. For example, I still question, or let me reverse it to you. Do you think, D, that Wilder is psychologically ready for a comeback against, say, a White or a Ruiz or even an AJ? Psychologically now, not physically, because nobody has questioned his physical attributes. I sure as hell haven't. I haven't questioned the fact that he still possesses the one-trick pony that can put you to sleep. But I'm simply questioning his psychological state of mind. You know, his state of mind right now.
Well, see, when it comes to that, that is an enigma where he is psychologically, right? That is an enigma. And which is also a reason why I didn't mind him taking a low-level fight. With all of this before, like if the low-level fight was to lead to Dillian White next or Andy Ruiz next, I was cool with that because we got to see where he at. So he gets in there and fights at Charles Martin or Negron or Robert Helenius or whoever. And then if the plan is his next fight is either White or Ruiz, I was cool with that because we really don't know where he is psychologically. And I'll tell you like this, getting in there with any of the top 10 guys psychologically, that's maybe a disaster waiting to happen because this is not a guy who has the boxing acumen with him. So he's going to have to be there mentally, right? So taking this low-level fight with whoever it may be, like that would be fine as long as it did lead to a Dillian White or Ruiz. I don't want to see him fight freaking Negron and then turn around and give Arthur Spilka a rematch. You know what I'm saying? That's perfect. You know what I mean?
Drew, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Sorry to keep you on the back, but we there were some things we couldn't let in the, you know, just disappear. What's up? Talk to us. Give me your 2 cents on this.
You know what? When it comes to Deontay Wilder, the main thing he has to do is be acceptance of his loss and learn from it, which he has not done.
You got the Taco Bell internet. Can you get closer to your router because you're cutting off a bit. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? No. Well, you cut off. Or maybe get out and try to come back in and closer to your router. And then I'll let Matt chat since he just came in. Chad, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, God bless to be here, Raw Boxing. Much respect to the genius panel you have here. I see Mr. Graham, I see Major Key, there's Mr. Jefferson. Subscribe to all these guys' channels. These guys got their ear to the ground, Stone. They know what's going on. It's a pleasure to be here, Raw. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Like I said, man, just been gone for a minute, but we're back trying to put a little bit of content in the channel. Thank you for being here, man. Talk to me. Give me your 2 cents on this man if you've been listening.
Yeah, you know, it's I want to see him fight again. I'd like to see him fight Dillian White. You know, I think he has something left. Physically. But this game's so much more than physical, you know. Right after the fight, when he said, you know, he was mad about the towel, he was mad about going not out on his shield. I went to bed with the utmost respect for Deontae. You know, I said, all right, he'll be back. And then I heard about the glove. So I pulled out my Sherlock Holmes investigative thing because I know cheating goes on in boxing. I know there's been glove tampering. I know Billy Collins almost got killed by Louis Resto with gloves. So I did a little investigating on that, and I didn't see much of that. Then I heard a costume type thing. And I was thinking the man really might be going off the deep end. He's losing his marbles. He's in complete denial of his beatdown, you know. Then I heard an egg weight possibly or something. And then I'm thinking, wow, this is just too bad. He's really losing his shield. His shield has gone away to Phil Donahue. Now he's entered Phil Donahue. You know, what's the other crazy guy that was screaming and hollering? They all holler, Marty something, I don't know. Some day, you know, drama. It would turn into a drama type excuse. And then it got to a point, Raw Boxing, where I heard him call out Mr. Mark Breland, one of my heroes growing up, one of the greatest fighters, amateur fighters. you know, I graduated in 1988, so I'm 18 years old in '88, and Mark Breland was rocking and rolling from '84. He was like Larry Bird at that era. He was huge. He was a monstrous boxer. He went on to have a great reputation as a trainer. I think he's a family man, you know, just a great guy. And when Mr. Wilder made that accusation of a possible tampering with the water and all that, I'm thinking this guy's never going to fight again, because now he's going to places that you just don't talk. You don't ever mention that. I never heard it mentioned before in the history of boxing, where a fighter has accused the guy that saved his life possibly of trying to tamper with his water. And I really lost all faith, because I had Wilder winning against Fury the first fight. I had Wilder beating Fury the second fight. But there's not going to be a third fight. I don't see him fighting Dillian White. I don't see him fighting Charles Martin or Andy Ruiz Jr. again, because if your mind ain't in the game, you're not into the game. Maybe once his bank account reaches, 5 digits, he'll probably fight again. But until then, I don't see him fighting raw boxing.
Well, I think his account reaching 5 digits, it all depends on how well he is with his money. And I think he's smart with his money, from what I've heard, and I'm glad that he is. But let me just backtrack a little bit on what you said. You had Wilder winning both fights, including the second one?
No, I thought he would. I thought he would going into it. I thought Wilder was going to clip him in the first fight for sure, and then he did, and he got up like Frankenstein, got up like a zombie, and then even in the second fight, I thought he'd catch him again, even with the change up with the Sugar Hill Gang. I still thought Wilder possessed that one-shot knockout, and if Fury was going to go toe-to-toe with him, I just imagined Wilder would clip him. And I was wrong. And I thought maybe he might beat him the third time right after the fight when it got over and I went to bed after I heard his little talk in the ring. I thought he might fight him again, and I still thought he had a chance. But after all that went down, he's not there. He's not going to fight again.
I think that's where it went down for me, because like I said, it's hard if you're truly a boxing fan, especially if you love knockouts. You'd be a hypocrite if you were to tell me that you are not a fan of Deontay Wilder. But where it all started going down for me, like I said, I used to see Deontay Wilder with this alpha male aura, so to speak, if that's for lack of better terms. And just after the whole entire agenda of excuses, I started my drive towards Wilder was just like, damn, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's up? Like, all these horrendous excuses, we're going to have to start seeing some actual evidence for us to believe it. And then you add the fact of all these maggot channels creating this content also without with sufficient or strong evidence, and then trying to mix the whole thing with race. And I lost a lot of good taste for the image of Wilder. But I'm one of the guys that thinks that he can come back. He still has the power, at least, that if he lands 3-4 good shots during a fight, he's putting you to sleep. Unless you can slip those right hands in the same manner that Fury was doing it in the second fight and the majority of the first fight. Now, we'll go with Drew because he had to time out. Then we'll go back to D, Troy, and then A-Rod. So, Drew, what's up? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. What I was saying is the first and foremost thing about Wilder is he has to accept his loss and try to learn from it, which I think he has not learned from his loss yet, because the problem is he was exposed, flat out exposed. And the thing is, it should have happened a couple years ago when he was booked to fight Povetkin in Moscow. I thought he was going to get exposed back then, but, Povetkin tested positive for steroids the night of the fight. He left Moscow, said, I'm not fighting him and everything. And Povetkin fought a nobody. But Deontay Wilder has to continue boxing, because if he does not continue boxing, his career is going to be known for being mediocre at best, because He made a career off knocking out C-level and below-level fighters. That's what he made his career off of. When he got to the top-tier fighters like Fury, that's where he got exposed at, and that's where he got beat at in both fights. I thought Fury won both fights easily, in my opinion, except for the knockdowns. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to go fight maybe a Dillian White or a Charles Martin or somebody, because everybody's going to look at him, and if he's going to pick a nobody to come back against and say, oh, is Deontay Wilder's going to fight nobodies again until he gets a fight with Fury or Joshua? So
I hear you. Somebody's trying to call in there, and here it is, because I was okay. So Troy.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to add on this matter before I give the chance to the other members, and then we switch to another topic, and then after the next topic, we'll be handing.
Sure. Yeah, just the thing about, you have some fans saying that this one could beat him and that one could beat him. I agree and disagree at the same time, because it's not reality. But again, he put himself in that situation based on his competition throughout his whole career, because he's only fought one real top guy, and that's Fury, and he lost. And anybody with any eyes can see he didn't have the fundamentals to handle that man in the first fight, and he lacked it even more in the second fight. You understand me?
So he sort of felt hostage to the idea of I only got to be perfect for a second, while you got to be perfect 12 rounds.
He didn't fall hostage to it. He embraced it. He married it, and he made love to it. He didn't fall hostage to it. Yeah. There was no hostage there. There's no hostage, brother.
I got you. We'll take D. Before we take D, let me send a shout out to Hayes. Oh, he left. D, Major Key, then A-Rod. Go ahead, D Jefferson.
Oh damn, I was on mute. My bad.
It's all
right. What I just came back, bro. I had stepped out. Where were we at? Did we change? Where were we at right quick?
Okay, so basically, if you want, you don't have to add more to it. We can move on to the because you've said a lot when it comes to this. And
what was still on Wilder?
Yeah, we're still on Wilder.
Yeah, let's step to the next one.
I'm done with that. Yeah,
okay,
I'm done with that. I'm done with Wilder.
Okay, A-Rod, anything else before we switch to the next subject so we can take on Major Key?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so on the next subject, man, give me your thoughts. I'm really interested on hearing your perspective. Let's say we get a date for the Fury and AJ. I personally believe, I'll tell you what I believe, and then y'all can chop it off from there. I personally believe that these are two high-class boxers, right? But I just don't see nobody touching Fury, homie. People want to come up with the whole thing of, yeah, but AJ can work the body. Congratulations. It's not going to win you a fight.
No, I think that look, they're both A-level fighters, and what I mean about that, look, here's the whole thing. I also think that Fury is going to win because of his size and the fact that he's so skilled, at his size. That's unnatural in a way, right? But what I have to say is that he struggled in the first fight a little bit with Deontay Wilder, right? And he got dropped twice, right? And what I have to say is that Deontay Wilder is a 1-2 kind of puncher, right? And yes, he has a lot of steam behind that right hand with that follow-up right hand, but you're talking about AJ, who's a combination puncher. See what I'm saying? So he's not just throwing the 1-2s. He's throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And that's the whole problem that I see with Tyson Fury, because yeah, he's gonna try to do the same thing that he did with AJ, and that's understandable. That with Wilder, he's gonna try to do that. That's understandable. He's gonna feel like, oh, you know what? This is how I won against a famous dude like Wilder. I'm gonna go ahead and try this again. But thank God they got a 2-fight deal, because you're gonna see adjustments. They're not slow. And Wilder is 35. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. When it comes to AJ can adapt. And I feel like after the first Ruiz fight, he went and he tried to adjust, and he actually tried to implement the game plan, and he won the fight, but he looked nervous. Then the next fight against Pulev, he looked a lot more comfortable in that boxing type of style. That's not something that he grew up through the ranks in. That wasn't his style to begin with.
Yeah.
But he did it. He did it well. So now we're talking about Fury, who's also a great boxer, but Fury likes to come in and throw feints, and boom, and he keeps you nervous. He keeps you nervous because he's such a big guy. He keeps you nervous. You're like you're just expending energy just on your nerves alone. But,
yeah.
But with AJ, if he can maintain the calmness, you know what I'm saying, he could weather the storm and start throwing those combinations and landing. And if he lands, an uppercut, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to say that he's got the right hand there Wilder has. I'm not going to say that, but it's a pattern of over 12 rounds. What can he do that stops Fury? So it's an interesting and intriguing fight to me. I'm just saying that I feel like any of them could win. But I like both of their chances, and I'm gonna say that it's a better fight because of the fact that AJ does throw combinations, not just 1-2s.
Okay. So now we'll take. Let's do it in this order and try to remember that. We'll go to D, then A-Rod, then Troy, then Matt Chad. So D, Cook, talk to me in this fight. What you seeing in this fight, brother? You might be on mute. D Jefferson, you're always late to the party.
All right, yeah. I'm on. I'm off you now.
If you're eating or something, just let me know, bro.
Nah, bro. I was actually playing poker, so that's why But look, no. Here's the thing. Joshua Fury, right? Here's the thing. I'm gonna make this short so somebody else can take off. I believe that June or July, the fight happens for sure, right? It's way too much money involved in this for that fight not to happen. Look, it's money problems all around the world, all around sports. They're not giving up this much money, fam. They're gonna make this fight happen. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I agree. This fight has to happen. And I think that the magnitude of this fight, it's what's gonna push a lot of rules to be not bent, but let's say drop the level of how strict they are. Because unfortunately, money makes the world dance, if you know what I mean. So A-Rod, talk to me, brother. AJ versus Fury. How do you see this story playing out? Who do you like in this fight?
I was favoring the AJ, you know what I mean, just because of if Fury comes in and tries to do the same thing as Wilder in the second fight, it's not going to play out as well towards the AJ inside fighter that is able to be good. So I think if Fury goes back to his old style, where he has his hands down here in his stomach, you know what I mean, that gives a lot of people confusion because he has a fast ass jab with the long freaking reach like a broomstick, you know what I mean, and that gives a lot of feints. I think that style is going to be a lot more effective than trying to go in and rush somebody that's a great hook, somebody with a great hook and straight ride. You know, I mean, an inside fighter like AJ. So let's see what style he brings into the fight. But I'm still just if Fury's going to stick to the game plan that he did on Wilder, I'm going to favor AJ.
Okay. So Troy, who do you like in this fight and why? How do you see this playing out?
Okay, real quick, I want to bless up that Major Keys. He's the reason why I'm here. He's the one who turned me onto your page. So yeah,
appreciate the both of you.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say something. Fury sold y'all a bag of goods. I'm not saying he's not a good boxer, but the whole world great. On his resume, he fought two guys that could really box. One is Klitschko, one is Steve Cunningham. You didn't see him outbox either one of them. He won in the cheapest way fighting Steve Cunningham. After he got dropped, he leaned on him, took that big body and leaned all over the little man who dropped him. Why didn't he outbox him, right? Then when he fought Klitschko, that fight was disgusting and ugly. It was not boxing. It was ugly. ugly. He made it ugly on purpose, right? Because Klitschko's a timing fighter. So when you do ugly crap like that, it throws off his timing, and he looks like, well, he's something was wrong with him. Timing fighters work on a certain 1, 2. You're a coach. I don't have to say anything, right?
Yeah, I know
Right.
what
So, yeah. So, and then, okay, he looked brilliant against Derek Chisora, but what is Chisora not known for? Boxing.
Mhm.
He looked brilliant against Wilder. What is Wilder not known for? Boxing. So, in a sense, he's good, but and then he fought the other dude that cut his eye, Wallin. What is
Wallin.
he not? What is he not known for?
And that was a pretty close fight.
Yeah,
Tell you.
yeah, but he's not known for being a good or great boxer, is he? He's known for being tough, correct?
Correct.
So you have 3 examples. You have all these examples. I pay attention to small things. He's good for his size. He's very good for his size, but great? No, he sold y'all a bag of goods to make you think, okay, well, he's this great boxer. But have you ever seen him outbox anybody that can box?
Here's what I got to say to that, though, Troy, because see, boxing is a game of chess. If what you do good is boxing, but I am a great boxer, but I can also fight dirty, I'm going to take you to the area where you're not comfortable, even if in the area where you're comfortable, I'm even better than you at. So I get what you're saying, but let me put you another example. Often when you see a good boxer lose, you're going to see him lose against somebody who is just raw at what they do, and they make the fight ugly, and he takes that educated boxer outside of their comfort zone, if we want to put it that way. I'll give you a good example. Look, when you look at Castillo versus Mayweather, when you look at Mayweather versus Maidana, which I thought, I'm not the ones that's out here crying like, oh, Maidana beat him, whatever the case was. The point is, the ugly guy made the boxer look ugly. Sometimes as a corner, as a boxer, you have to make the decision to take your opponent to the area where he doesn't want to be. You have to, as a fighter, be willing to use your physical attributes, whether it looks ugly or not. Is he a great boxer? I say
No.
for the heavyweight division in this era right now, no heavyweight moves like him. And when I say moves, I don't mean just putting hand combination. I'm talking about even if all he's doing is throwing a couple of feint jabs with a 1-2, maybe a hook. I'm talking about that foot movement. I'm talking about that upper body movement. I'm talking about the willingness to time you from the mid-range, hit you with a good jab, and then lock you. I think he may not be likable to a lot of people, but I do think he knows what to do in there to get you out of your comfort zone.
And the head movement too. The head movement.
Yeah. And another thing with Fury is Fury reminds me of a boxer that I know none of you might even know, mainly because of how young this boxer died. A guy named by Roberto Bellotto, back in the late 80s, early 90s, also heavyweight. He moved in there like a lightweight, right? And he was fighting the kryptonites of the heavyweight division and making them look silly. But it was mainly because of you couldn't find another heavyweight that was able to move them legs in the fashion in which he did. So because he was able to do that, he was able to make himself look just above anybody else. I think sometimes, yeah, I do understand what you're saying. But as a fighter, sometimes you got to be willing to take your opponent to the areas where maybe
I get all that, but my thing is, I watch both fights, and at some point in there, you have to be able to say, okay, well, I can outbox this guy, even though he's considered a boxer. I haven't seen that at all.
I agree with you. I do think that when it came to Klitschko, when he fought Klitschko, he wasn't fighting a bum in there. And when he fought Klitschko, Klitschko was also kind of like at the end of his career, but he was still a dangerous guy. Remember, he was still the guy with the belt around his waist. He was still the guy that a lot of fighters went in there mentally defeated because it's the Klitschko, you know?
You know what, brother? I'm sorry. I don't think he was at the end of his career. He looked at Fury probably he was at a place in his career where most fighters get. I've been doing this a long time. This guy's nothing to me. I'm really bored. I need something to inspire my soul. Because if he was at the end of his career, there's no way that he could have had the fight he had with Joshua. No way in hell.
End of his career in the sense of even he was already talking about just having, I think he said in the build up to the fight, he was maybe wanting 3 or 4 good fights, and then he wanted to focus on his other businesses. And that's when, remember that reporter asking me whether he was going to step into politics like his brother. He said, no, that's not on my plans. But when a boxer is already telling you like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then call it quits, to me, that's sort of like end of
what I just, he needed something to inspire me. He found that when he Josh.
You're cutting off there.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. What he wasn't physically at the end of his career. He was mentally, and he was emotionally in a place where I'm bored. I'm not taking this cat serious. He's not even built. He got the love handle to talk a bunch of garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so basically he probably trained, but he went through the motions. He didn't really put his all into it, right?
Gotcha.
And then he wasn't ready for the helter-skelter ugly garbage that he got from not Wilder, Fury. So he lost his belt. And then the proud individual that he is, when he got the fight with Joshua, he said, I'm gonna prove it to myself, damn the world that I could take this young boy. And that's why we had the fight that we had. And that's the best Klitschko I've ever seen in my whole life.
That was a hell of a fight too.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a fight too. Bomb Squad all day. Welcome to the chat. Before I let you go, I had who else was next? Matt Chat, and then after Matt Chat, we'll take Drew, and then Drew will go to Bomb Squad all day.
Hey, Raw TV, real quick chat before you go, fam. Raw TV, I'm an old man, bro. I need to get ready to get the hell off of here.
Hey, man, you do your thing, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
I gotta take myself to sleep. But
Peace, D. Peace.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't say before I leave, no doubt, this is one thing I want to say before I leave. There's only one Tyson Fury. He gonna beat AJ ceremonial drum. Peace out, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Come to Major Key Monday. Brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Let's see. Matt Chat, talk to me, brother.
Yo, Raw Boxing. Like again, I'd just like to thank you for your promotion of this. I think the greatest sport in the world, this sweet science, and praising not maybe, but the biggest fight in the history of England that we're going to witness here with Fury and Joshua. This is going to make Boston, boxing big, not Boston. I'm a homer. I keep thinking Boston, but this makes boxing huge. We're going to get a lot of fans because of this. This is a global sport, and all eyes are going to be on boxing with this fight. And I think it has a makings to be a great fight. I like both their styles. I think it has a making to be a great fight. I have Fury myself beaten because I think he has a better resume. And just like Mr. Graham was mentioning, Fury hasn't beaten nobody lately. He beat Wilder twice, and he beat Otto Whalen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Andy Ruiz is a fighter. Even though he was obese and out of shape, he can still fight. He's been a fighter his whole life. He knows angles. He knows how to throw hands. And I think Joshua's just set up to win this fight. But like I say, I think it's a 50-50 fight in Raw Boxing. My mind might change because, as I watch this fight, I like where Fury's mind at. He's Jekyll and Hyde. And you don't know what Fury's going to be. He gets a little lazy. He gets a little cute in there, and he gets a little Jekyll and Hyde-ish. And I know Anthony's more consistent. He's more meat and potatoes. He's more fundamentals.
Well, he's still. I think he's still got the Olympian in him.
He still does it. He still has McCracken. He still has that same staff he's had with him his whole time. And that McCracken, his trainer, we talk about Eddie Reynoso, we talk about these other trainers. But this McCracken British character, he's a well-decorated trainer. He's a little Yoda, and he gets his fighters ready at every level. And Joshua's been with him since day one. And I think this is great for boxing. I am so excited for this fight, Raw Boxing, and I am so privileged and honored to be with you and to sit here and listen to this panel. Major Key, Troy Graham. I mean, you have a great squad here, Raw Boxing. Thank you so much. And whoever's next, I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I am sure winning.
Cool. So we're gonna take Drew. Before you go, I want to say welcome to my friend here, David Erasmo from Panama, man. Welcome to the chat once again. This is your second time with us. We'll let Drew Evo go, and then we'll take Bomb Squad all day, and then we'll get Dabby on his share his opinion. But Drew's breaking up again, so
Okay. Can you hear me now?
okay, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to say my point that I got to get out because I'm at my job right now. So,
Okay. Don't get fired because of RawBoxingTV. I ain't fit to pay your unemployment.
So, first of all, when Anthony Joshua started boxing against John Ruiz in the second fight, he ran the last part of that fight mostly. Now, against the Pulev is a one-handed fighter that only throws two punches, a right jab and a right hook. That has no defense at all. So I don't think we can judge how good Anthony Joshua's boxing is based off those two performances. But at the end of the day, this fight's going to go like this. Anthony Joshua has to pick his poison. Is he going to try to box the Fury, which would be a mistake? Is he going to try to go all out, which could be a mistake because he's going to get countered? So Tyson Fury is going to knock Anthony Joshua out inside 8 rounds. Or it's going to be a stoppage.
That's very aggressive, but okay, man. I got to respect your opinion. Hey, right now we're just sharing our thoughts.
Hey, he's going to get
how he does that.
He's going to get countered with a punch he's not going to see because he's going to go bombs away, try to do that because at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is a Klitschko. He's built like a Klitschko. He fights like a Klitschko. At the end of the day, he's sparred with Klitschko.
He's a hell of a drug.
So at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua has nothing on Tyson Fury whatsoever, and this is going to be Zort in a stoppage.
Okay, hey, I respect it. I don't want to say I disagree with you because I can kind of see where you go with this, but that's aggressive. Okay, so you got Fury by stoppage. Bomb Squad all day. Welcome to the chat. I don't think I've ever had you here. What's up, brother?
What's good, man? This is actually World Combat Sports, man. I just have to represent.
Oh, okay. So why not just put World Combat Sport, man?
Because that's what I have most of the time when I jump on the panel.
Okay, I got you, man. Welcome, man.
Chilling. I did have to, at one point in time, I never really had a dialogue with you so far, but I remember one time you was on Punch's channel and you said I was a fanboy. So I want you to explain how I'm a fanboy. I'm willing to answer any questions that you may have about your topic dealing with Deontay Wilder, as far as the way you feel about that.
What is it?
Did you hear me?
No, I heard what you said, but there was something else at the end. What was the last part of it?
No, I say I'm here to answer any questions that you may have dealing with this subject. It's been a solid panel, man. Talking about Deontay. I said, for me especially, a lot of people know I've had interaction with Deontay Wilder and I still communicate. So, I'm here to answer any, questions that you may have as to why or how you feel about him not, contacting the people, or him, taking his time, returning back to the sport, handling business first about that trilogy, the psychological aspect.
First, I want to explain the first part of your, I guess, question or accusation. Because when I say you were a fanboy, I say you were acting sort of like a fanboy in the sense that it didn't matter what anybody said. Could nobody get across or get you to understand that at the end of the day, people's opinions is going to be people's opinions without you getting so emotionally defensive? Because here's the deal. I strongly disagree with what, let's see, is Drew still here? What Drew just said. But am I going to be going crazy and try to change his mind on what he's saying? Absolutely not. At the end of the day, that is his opinion. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much knowledge I got on the subject. At the end of the day, it's his opinion, right? I don't remember exactly everything you were talking about or that was being talked about. I just remember the fact that it didn't matter what anybody said. To you, Deontay Wilder didn't know wrong, or as best as I can remember, to be honest with you. Because right now, I can't even remember which video you're referring to. I do remember the time you were there, with the time that I saw you. But
well, I usually come in there with the same tone that I'm talking to you now.
Specifically, which video or
I just know it was one time that I pulled up and I was on there and I left and I saw you. I've never been on your channel before and you made that point, but it's not that big, my brother. I just never met you a day in my life and you called me a Deontay Wilder fanboy without knowing what type of interaction I have with the champ. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying. Whether you have been on several panels and the conversation come up when I'm on there about Deontay Wilder, it tends to stimulate other human beings that are also participating in the boxing talk, and they seem to kind of they tend to kind of tag team and say the same shit all the time. Deontay Wilder fanboy, and that seems to be a juvenile stigma that's around YouTube by saying that. But really, if anybody would know, pretty much certain things that goes on in this camp would be me.
Oh, that's besides the point. I mean, my simple thing was, when it comes to when people have something to say, for example, in regards of a subject, it's almost not even worth to me, just so you can kind of understand where I'm going. It's almost not even worth it to me to even try to get emotional or mad in the pursuit of trying to change your mind or get you to see what I'm seeing or get you to know what I know to be a fact. So that's basically my whole thing on this matter. I mean, and another thing, if I don't remember best, because I'm really trying to wrap my head on specifically what was being said on that video.
I mean, you was on Punch Channel, but like I said before,
it didn't matter.
I'm trying to move on, but you called me a fanboy and we never met. We never talked. I've never been on your panel. This is the first time I'm on your show.
I've had my panel open always, brother. Everybody.
Yeah, I've never been on it. I admit.
Okay.
I've never been on it. I'm not saying you didn't have it. I've just never been on it.
Okay, well, welcome, man.
For sure, man.
So let me ask you a question, since you got all of this info, which I think is kind of great that you have the info, and I still think that it's even better if the very person that makes accusation comes out publicly and defends his accusation without having anybody else act as attorneys for them. Because as I stated at the beginning of the video, I don't know if you were here or not at the beginning of this chat, my whole thing with Deontay Wilder is not so much his physical attributes, nor his fighting attributes or lack of, or whatever the case might be. What I'm questioning, and a question is not a fact. A question is a fact. It's just a question. What I'm questioning is his state of mind. So here's the deal. If I do something wrong, but you're trying to explain to me what I did wrong, and instead of me trying to go down that avenue and be like, okay, let me see what you got to say, and then I'll tell you whether you agree with whether we agree on this or not. Instead of me doing that, you just see me start making accusations and accusations and accusations and accusations. Then you would think that, okay, have you even noticed why you did what you did? My thing with Wilder is, where is he psychologically now? Because, like I said, I personally don't believe he's retiring because I haven't heard it out of his own mouth, and I won't believe it until I hear it from his mouth. But I've also haven't seen Wilder in anything related to boxing, or as far as like a training video. And I'm not saying that because I haven't seen the training video, there isn't one. I'm simply questioning his psychological state of mind at this point. Since you got access to him, what can you tell us about this?
Because I'll do one better.
Again,
I'm gonna post a video this weekend.
Good.
I'm gonna ask him your question. How about that?
However you want to do it.
I'm gonna ask him your question.
At the end of the day,
because certain people, they tend to want to put this retirement deal in there, and being that he's psychologically fragmented, he's never going to turn to the sport. That's far from the truth. It's far from the truth for real. I've seen it several times since he fought, and he's been in good spirits, man. I've been around that man on several occasions at different fights in different regions, and like I said, I think if you was to meet him, it'll change you. I know earlier you said in your live, you was talking about asking the tough questions and everything. Hey, I've seen that in person. I've seen that happen in person.
Congratulations.
Running up his ass in person. They ask him some tough questions. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody else has, but that's my point. Instead of having YouTube channels acting as a intermediate, as an attorney, okay, so for example, do you believe Mark Brilliant spiked his water?
I've said my piece on that. That's for them to handle, really.
Why not say it here?
Because when it comes down to what I think, I've already made my point on if he fired him. Look, he fired him. He had his suspicion, and he made his decision. Who am I to sit up here? I wasn't even at the fight. I wasn't there. So you asking me, do I believe? I can't really sit up here if I wasn't at the fight and say, yeah, he did it. I'm just going off what Deontay Wilder's, the type of character he has, and him making, that type of accusation, being around Mark Brilliant, kept him on his payroll for so long. Even when the man was having problems with his health, he did so much for Mark, and Mark started, like leaving the team behind and everything. It just got to a boiling point when he threw the towel in. And that's against the code and the rules that Deontay Wilder gave him.
Okay, so now watch the separation of arguments here. Even in Mark Brilliant, in fact, was the worst trainer in the world. That still doesn't prove that he spiked the water. Now, hold on. Now you're saying, who am I? I've said my piece on this. Who am I to just sit here and that's what? Okay, good. And I get that, and I share that with you. But can you imagine though, if Deontay Wilder was actually here in a YouTube channel, willing to answer all those questions, and maybe like, what evidence do you have of that? And he's providing everything. Can you imagine what people will be? Can you imagine the limit of this accusation or the expansion of this accusation if Deontay Wilder himself was either proven or disproven, whatever it is that he's being questioned?
If that access was feasible, cool. I understand where you're going. A lot of boxes could be checked, and a lot more people can be at peace with this topic. You know what I'm saying? But check this out, though. Do you know why he hasn't been talking about it in detail? Because he's been in court, and they pretty much put a gag order on him until this Tyson Fury deal is over with. And that was because of Tyson Fury and on what was going on with him, and then him getting with his team and basically saying, hey, just keep it low. Don't be up here saying the same thing you've been saying about your team and Tyson Fury.
Okay, so he hasn't been talking about the water because of that.
He hasn't been getting in detail about really any of it.
Okay,
but did it that one time he did it. You remember that one time he did it? He came out and he was speaking to 78 Sports TV. That's the only time. And then after that, I guess they touched bases with him in the court system and stuff like that, and said, "Hey, chill." You know what I'm saying? Until we get this over with.
I've heard him outside of that. For example, I've heard him with the video. I've heard him. Was he what is the name of that channel? What's the brother that what's the name of that channel? The brother that's like in a barbershop thing.
Barbershop conversation.
Wasn't Deontay in that channel as well?
I'm not sure. I don't go to all those channels. I know he was on 78 Sports TV, and that's it.
Okay, so I've heard him on several channels. One of them being that one, I believe. I don't take that one as a fact. I really have to do my I guess mental investigation or backtrack my thoughts on that. But I also seen that video where he came out with background music talking about egg weight, which is another form of accusation, which is also related to Tyson Fury, which is also related to this whole scandal. So it's not just the Mark Brilliant thing. My whole thing is the accusers, man. It's as the ear to the excuses. because we all are ears to those excuses. I want to hear both sides of the story.
Correct.
I want to see evidence that proves what you're telling me beyond a reasonable doubt, or at least get close to it, because I know hearing only one side of the story can only get you so far, but at least get me close to that. Until then, I'm going to qualify them as excuses or allegations without any evidence. Wouldn't you? I mean, if I was making those accusations about you, but I wasn't presenting any evidence, wouldn't you? How would you qualify that to be? Think about it.
If the other side didn't look or have any suspicion to it, it'd be different if you was making those accusations against me. But the other side throughout that's public record. There was a bit of suspicion on Tyson Fury's side. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, don't get on me. I didn't bring all this up, but I'm answering your question.
I'm simply asking you because you said that you are around them, that you're here to answer.
Yeah, but that's not the topic of discussion. He really doesn't discuss that. Real talk. He don't discuss that. When I see him in person, it's cordial. We if there's a conversation, it's a conversation, but no way, no how. With his family around and everything, we ain't talking about no egg weight, no damn gloves, none of that shit. But it is spoken from other people. That I'm just gonna keep to myself from this. That's in this camp.
It's also spoken from him, brother. It's a video. Yeah, I'm not gonna look. You can go look. You can find me. You can find me one of my videos where I'm attacking Deontay Wilder's character, the fighter. If anything, I've separated both. If anything, you could hear me in my videos clearly state that Deontay Wilder, the fighter, it's not the same person as Deontay Wilder, the father, the son, the husband, the whatever. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm simply saying Deontay Wilder, the fighter, came out on video publicly. Now you say, no, those things aren't spoken in front of his family. The minute you put something on YouTube, brother, unfortunately, that's in front of your family because your family.
Yeah, for sure. But earlier you were saying that
this bum.
Early.
Somebody's whispering there.
I mean, just say that to him off, man. You know what I'm saying? All this other shit you talking, Davey, whoever you are, is not going to do anything for me, bro. Real talk. This non-physical energy. I'm just here trying to have a respectful conversation with RawBoxingTV. So when it comes down to it,
focus on me there, Bomb Squad. I mean,
yeah, I always draw this energy out of these supposedly grown men for no reason. Like, it's nothing personal with me. But when you said earlier that you were speaking how Deontay Wilder has lost in his career, right? And I was going to tell you he lost before that. He lost in the Olympics. He was fast tracked to the Olympics. He ended up getting the bronze medal. So obviously he lost. He knows how to face losses, even before he turned professional. So he had to have some intestinal fortitude to make it to the professional ranks in a fast track manner. So he goes on this. Hold up. He goes on this streak, right? He goes on this winning streak, and he's using what you call a one-trick pony. I don't know if it was a Shetland pony or whatever the case, but it was knocking the fuck out of his opponents, right? And finally, he gets beat by. He gets defeated by Tyson Fury. Mm-hmm. Not one time on my channel I said he wasn't defeated by Tyson Fury. It was just the how that kind of puzzled me and left that speculation. That's all. That's it. How did he get beat? He didn't look like the same fighter. I've been to his fights, and he's been more upbeat. He's been more intense. All that. I've been there firsthand.
He didn't look the same that night. He didn't look
the same.
You want me to tell you something? And you can go back and watch the videos. And like I said, my channel is always open. And my email is in my description. Anytime you want to come back in, I'm all about it. In my opinion, he wasn't the same fighter even from the press. Even from the press conferences on the lead up to the second fight, I didn't see that there's only one bummer. I was seeing I don't want to say timid. Timid might be the word I use for lack of better term. But it wasn't Deontay Wilder. I saw a Tyson Fury that had an edge on the psychological game. I saw a very loose Tyson Fury, while I saw a very timid and held back up to a certain level Deontay Wilder. Then I seen that translated in the ring. Now, I'm not saying that the man was scared. I'm simply saying maybe psychologically.
In that second fight, they wasn't supposed to get as theatrical as they did in the first. They really wanted them to, go about this press conference. It wasn't going to be all out promotion amongst the two. And I heard that straight from the managers themselves. Like, this wasn't going to be as aggressive or intensive as it was the first time they fought. So it was supposed to be a bit more subtle and sticking
Fury
to the
was
fight.
still pretty outspoken. Fury.
Fury,
Fury
Fury can be outspoken, but it was nowhere close to what the first tour they had. When they first fought, it was out of control. Like they was doing some of everything to each other. You know what I'm saying? Verbally.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a question. Maybe you've heard, Davy. I haven't forgotten about you. I just want to get as much as possible from World Combat.
I got you.
Here's the question that I have, and maybe you don't have an answer to this. I can kind of picture what you're going to say. You'll probably say, "Who am I to answer for him?" And I would agree. But again, since you're the guy that said you hang around him, maybe you've heard this.
I've been around him.
Being talked or whatever around. Brilliant gets fired because of allegation of spiked water, which there's, dare I say, no evidence specifically because there was a drug test afterwards, and we've heard how even levels of picograms can come out on this blood test, on this test, whether they're urine, blood, or hair follicle tests. Why was it that since he also made an allegations of or suggested anything wrong with the gloves or hand wraps or the excuse was made in the YTBC, but he never came out to correct it? Why is it that JD still around him when JD was the one in the locker room? Because I mean, here we got Brilliant fired for something that in reality is just an allegation and we can't prove it. But we got JD who was involved on another thing related to another allegation, but he's still the man in the corner. If anything, I would be questioning the hell out of JD.
That's a very good question. Very good question.
I truly believe that the man had an egg weight. I'll be questioning the hell out of JD. How in the hell, or why in the hell, or how in the hell could you miss egg weights in the man's hands and tampered gloves when you're supposed to be there with your eyes locked on the wraps, with your eyes locked on the gloves, with your eyes locked on the commission signing the wraps and the gloves? Brilliant is fired because of an accusation that is, in my opinion, it's just an opinion, unverifiable. But JD,
the water,
still in the corner.
Well, Mark Breland was fired for the water issue and throwing in the towel. It was a combination of things. It wasn't just the egg. It wasn't just down the water. It was the towel. The towel coming over there.
Not being accused of anything in this case, then,
huh?
Why is JD not being accused of anything? Forget the fire.
For what?
I can understand why he was fired for an accumulation of things. Now let me modify it then. Brilliant is being called whatever it is that he's being called because of the allegations with the water. Why is JD not being called or accused of anything when he was the one inspecting the hand wraps? That he was the one in charge of making sure no egg waste was in those hands and all of that good stuff.
I mean, I understand that's a good question you asked. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a question, not an accusation.
Yeah, just a question. Yeah. So JD did go back there and he was inspected, but also we really don't know what was the reason for the time lapse and the stream that was going back to their dressing room either. When every time I mentioned the stream being disconnected by their team, which everybody saw, people act like they know what went on in the dressing room. We have no idea what went on during that time where the network was black. It was a blackout. So we don't know what happened. A good question about JD's. JD's did, in fact, he was addressed by Deontae Wilder about several situations. I wasn't privy to it. I wasn't in there, in the circle. But the one thing Deontay Wilder said, the JD's, the man has been there since day one, that he was not going to be fired because he didn't go against his will. Now, you know, that egg weight and all this other stuff, there was a time frame where the string was disconnected. We saw Fury's team disconnected. I don't know what went on. Look, I don't know what went on from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I cannot sit up here and speak on it.
Okay, so World Combat, the line, the cameras might have been disconnected, but JD was still present. So for example, I'll give you an example. I've wrapped hands. I've worked corners, right? You could put a camera there or not put it. That doesn't mean that my opponent's corner wasn't there to see it.
I've been in the dressing room, the Top Rank and Showtime. And you know, sometimes those guys that's looking, they are not in there. They're in another place, man. I'm just saying.
That is their fault then. And you know what? We can't even prove that JD was there or not there mentally.
That's true.
All we got to do here is the responsibility of a trainer or a corner member in such a mega fight is to be a wolf. Because at low level, I've done it. Other people's have done it to us. I've had people tell me, now we can't wrap that hand like that. So I have to cut an entire hand wrap and rewrap it, right? My whole question is not, look, I don't even care if there was ever cameras or the cameras was there, the lights went out. My question is, with or without cameras, JD's eyes were still on there, brother. So my thing is, if there's anybody to question, and in my opinion, I would have really fired, it's JD. I would have fired out of JD.
Well, I understand where you come. You have a solid point, but when it comes down to what we know,
it was egg weights, you know.
Correct. What we know and what we can't see is two different things. You have to take that into consideration.
Right. Ain't seen poison in the water either.
That's what I'm saying. The water is the water. You know, he fired Mark Breland for the towel, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
World. He did not fire him for that water. He was fired for the towel primarily. The water was a part of another situation that he found out about.
Gotcha. Now let me just to be fair, let me let a few people that I've kept in quiet because you're not been talking. Let me let them get a few thoughts out, and then we can get you and I can get back to chopping it up. Davy, I'm sorry I've kept you in the dark. I haven't allowed you to speak, but talk to me. Then we'll take A-Rod, Troy, Major Key, and I'm back to Bomb Squad.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Good night to good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, before I even say something, to the gentleman that just finished speaking, if you think I was saying anything like against what you are mocking you or any shape or form, yeah, you're totally wrong. I'm talking to my 17-year-old son here. All I was saying to him is that's the reason why I like to listen to Raw Boxing and I like to partake here, because he pays attention to everything that you say. And I say he's a thinker. He's a thinker just like me. That's all I'm saying. Now get back to the story in question. I think I'm just going to take it from the top, from just slightly before you come in. My opinion with as far as like Tyson Fury and AJ, I think it's going to be a tough fight. Tyson Fury can move. He's like a big cat, man. Andres Galarraga. I got that. That's a big cat, man. That guy can move his feet. He's unusual. He got some long arms. I watched the second fight with the Bronze Bomber here, and to me, what did a lot was that although he wasn't connecting very much with that jab, but he just put in that big old paw out there. He just threw his hands out there, and he had him at bay. You could see it. He couldn't come in. He connect once in a while with that right hand, but it wasn't enough. He caught him when he was going back a lot, so it wasn't as effective. Now, this gentleman said something that I'm key on. That they told him not to have like that kind of aggression in the when it's coming on to the fight, and like be more professional, I guess, or more courteous or what have you.
Yeah, to have the tone down.
Yeah, tone down. To me, that's was a problem. You never take the edge off of a man. That's his edge. And once you do that, and if he gets used to that, he goes into the fight now, nice, calm, cool, and collected. He don't have that aggression anymore. You understand? And that could create a problem. And that's probably what was the problem there, because from the first round, you notice it. It wasn't the same. He was like, okay, the fight is here, what have you, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Just don't have to do nothing. Well, I drank the water and then it happened and I was dizzy and all of that. And to me, when his eardrums got busted, that's when everything started. You know, equilibrium was off, completely off. Now, he fired Mark Breland for throwing in the towel, but he still accused him of giving him tainted water. Now, is any blood work? Is any urine? You understand? Was there any investigation? I mean, I got to go now where the law would come in, where guess what? You tampering with someone is like you raw boxing. I don't know you. Now, if I give you peanuts and you die or you get sick, you know there's going to be a lot of investigation, right? Okay. Now,
Correct.
Is the government have been investigating this case?
Well, they're involved. According to World Combat, they're still involved in court in regards to this. Now, I don't know if the court is anything related to the accusations with Mark Breland or not, and I'm pretty sure World Combat will not share that with us, or I don't know if he actually knows that, but I'm pretty sure that there should be at least some sort of investigation. I was saying earlier in my chat that, look, when I say I want Breland to sue Deontay Wilder, it's not because I'm looking Deontay Wilder to get harmed. It's because I think that through a legal battle, only the truth will be forced out. Only the evidence will be forced out. And at the end of the day, if a judge forces the evidence out, and in fact, Deontay Wilder is innocent in this, he's the one that's going to get benefited. So exactly. I don't want people to misunderstand when I say Breland should sue Deontay Wilder. No, I'm simply saying, let the brother sue him. Only then and only then maybe the evidence and the truth will come out. And once the evidence and the truth comes out, then whoever is the guilty party is going to have to deal with the consequences of their act. So it's not necessarily me saying that I want the brother to get harmed. But if there's accusations on both sides and nobody's coming up with the evidence to prove their point beyond a reasonable doubt, maybe the courts of law might force them to come out with the evidence. And then and only then, maybe we'll get the truth out here. But Davi, were you finished what you were saying, or did I just took over?
No, you just took over a little bit. No, I'll finish real quick. You know, just to wrap it up. I truly believe that he will fight again.
I hope so.
It's like everybody else is a state of mind, because I think he got beat fair and square, and I think he needs to look himself in the mirror and accept that nobody's like, okay, listen, you know, you're a bum, you're this, you're that. You just got beat. Simple as that. And for those who think that there was like a surprise, oh, this should have never happened, look at the first fight. He dropped, how many times he dropped Tyson Fury? I think it was twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah.
If he didn't drop him those 2 times, he would have lost the fight. That's the evidence there that he was fighting a guy that was better than him. So those who do not want to accept the fact that Tyson Fury is a better fighter, the proof is in the pudding in the first fighter, in the first fight. He beat him, and the only way it ended up being a draw is because he got to drop Tyson Fury twice.
Okay. Now, Bomb Squad, I take note of that, and so I can give a chance to everybody else, and then we'll get back to you. A-Rod, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I was remembering when I watched that 78 interview with Wilder, he did say that Jay Diaz did mention that he really didn't pay too much attention to the raps and everything, and I always question why didn't he fire right there, right? And that's why when World Combat Sports said that he just didn't fire because he didn't throw in the towel, right? So I mean, that's Wilder's choice of him why he fired him. So Mark Breland being fired for the towel, that's always been what I believe why he got fired. And after all the accusations after after that happened and everything, but he was already fired, right? It wasn't mentioned that that's why he got fired. And on the whole thing why Wilder hasn't came out, I do believe that it is the court system that is not letting him speak on it, because if he did have proof or anything and he knew that he was going to end up having to take it to court, you can't say shit about it, knowing myself and people, yeah, knowing myself and people that have to go through the court system. You know what I mean? You can't speak or come out and say anything about what's going on in the court. And if those are two big things that you're bringing up to prove your case, you better not say nothing. You know what I mean? That's what I gotta say about that.
I see. Troy, talk to me.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I listen, and every time the JD's question comes up, you could talk to 10 people over there, and they'll tell you, okay, well, I've been in Wilder's camp and so forth. None of them will give you a direct answer. You want to know why? Because there's a bunch of bullshit. Let me tell you, when this subject comes up, World Combat has said it 100 times. You say the same shit all the time. You want to know why I say it? Because there's some facts in there. That's why. And when you're speaking the truth, why do you need to add anything to it? But when you don't know the truth and there's a bunch of excuses and lies in there, you got to keep adding things to it. And then this subject becomes draining, and it's not even about boxing anymore. It becomes, oh, this man's character, his mental state. Who cares? The dude is retired. Boxing will live on. And most of his crazy fans could go fall into a black hole for all I care. I don't care. Because it's not the fighter I have an issue with, it's them. They could go jump into a black hole and never return. And that's what I have to say.
Okay. Major Key, and then we'll go. We'll give Bomb Squad an opportunity to give an answer.
Shit, you're gonna have to repeat what the fuck is going on, bro, because shit. Once you and World Combat started going in, man, I kind of like, oh shit, I was listening to the point. So what are we still on right now?
We're still trying to for example, I closed up. Well, I didn't close. I finished my part with Bomb Squad talking about the JD situation. Look,
okay, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I heard that part.
Yeah, and then
all right,
taking all of that into consideration.
Yeah.
I
think I can follow up. And by the way, I did send out links to mad people for you when I seen you live, because we all missed you. So I'm glad that you was up here. You know what I'm saying? And so some people were on here because of that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we're having a great dialogue about this. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep my shit mature. You know what I'm saying? Where we can actually talk on topics. So I'm glad that we're having this discussion as grown men without everybody talking some crazy shit. So at the end of the day, all right. So I think it's a valid point about the JDs, what you was talking about, right? Again, I don't think I think I said this when I first came in. I don't feel like we're gonna know about the mental thing, but I think Scotty World Combat brought a great point when he said he lost in the amateurs, because I didn't think about that before. But at the end of the day, this is something like what you said was where his ego, damn, he 10 straight title defenses, matched the record. You know what I mean? And then got beat by this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And we're hearing a lot of rumors. I think the YouTube dudes that kind of were pushing these narratives kind of infiltrated his mind in a way. And I feel like he just, like everybody's been saying from, like, even I said it before, he needs to admit that he lost. Just get over it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's few and far in between where they're literally legitimately with no losses.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And so all he has to do is just admit, look, man, I got to go back to the drawing board. Like he said that night, if you listen to him that night, he said, okay, I lost tonight. He made a couple of excuses, but he tried to say, nah, but no excuses though. I lost to the better man tonight. If you listen to the post-fight interview, right? He said it. Yeah, he said it himself. He said, look, I lost to the better man tonight. You know, he made a couple of excuses, but he said, but no excuses though. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, if he would have just stuck to that, he would have held that to himself. Guess what? Everybody right now would not even be debating. Like everybody would have been like, yo, we want to see Wilder back right now. This and that. Fucking give Wilder. But it's these certain things where you create something, you create a hate towards yourself that would never have been there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't hate him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him fight again. You know what I'm saying? I was the one hyping him up before anybody that I knew, you know what I'm saying, knew about him, because everybody knew that I was the boxing guy. So I would tell people, yo, you heard about this dude, man, 30-0, bro, fucking 30 knockouts? And I go, nah, who's he? And they start typing in their computers and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because slow time, downtime and shit, so they can look up on the internet, and they start like, oh, shit, man, damn, this dude look like a beast. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all. Make sure y'all watch him next time. I'm telling everybody about this. So I'm hyping everybody up about this. So now years later, fast forward, he lost. That's it. He lost. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of his career unless he makes it the end of his career. You know what I mean? So don't let like all these other people, you know what I'm saying? And again, the social media stuff is new to a lot of these boxers. He's 35 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Again, like I said earlier, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? At least if you're gonna fight, you know what I mean? Come in with your honor. Come in with like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Fuck it. Let's just do it. But don't come with excuses and already like embedding in everybody's head that this is a race war or this and that. And I'm not saying that that's what World Combat was saying, because that's not at all what he was saying. But I'm just saying, like, some people do it like that. You know what I mean? On other channels. So it's not a race war. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's literally he just lost, man. That's it. You know what I mean? He just lost. It's okay.
And I think that
Trinidad lost against my bad. Trinidad lost against Hopkins. I already knew when he went to fight Hopkins. I said, this dude is fucking crazy. Why is he fighting Hopkins? Fucking what was wrong, Trinidad, bro? I thought about that before the fight. Then he lost the fight, and he didn't make excuses. I didn't make excuses. People didn't make excuses. We already knew. Like, yo, that was a dangerous fight, and he lost. That's it. You know?
I can kind of see what you're saying in connecting what Troy was saying is in regards to his fan. I know which part of fans you meant, Troy. I would have cleared that a little more, but I know the fans you were talking about. I also felt a bit disgusted with the sort of conversation of race being mixed by YouTube channels in regards to this subject, specifically talking about Latinos hating the blacks and things that had nothing to do with this situation. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, like I said, people that don't take a second to analyze the situation, they're gonna get caught up in the game. But my whole thing is, if you're willing to call these channels and have a dialogue with them through the phone in regards to a subject, why not take the same time to call them and say, hey, I just want to make this very clear and clear this whole racial stuff out. Because at the end of the day, man, whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not, whatever these channels are saying, and then they see you chatting with these channels, and these channels are talking about you in a certain way, and they're making certain accusations and bringing certain subjects unrelatable to this and trying to make it relatable, people is going to make a connection. Unfortunately, please focus on that word. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. Just clear it. You got the power to do it. You got the influence to do it. And if you're making a call, take 15 seconds to make that disclaimer. That's all. A bomb, man. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, okay. I want to say something.
Oh, Troy. Or was it? Who was it? Who was it? Was it Troy?
No. You know, it was World Combat's turn, so let him go. Let him go.
Okay. Bomb Squad, you there?
I look at it like this, man. What's your favorite fighter that you've been in the game? You've been in the game of boxing. So do you have a favorite fighter that's on that level that you really know and understand? You know what I'm saying? Who's one of your favorite fighters that you've had experience with during your time as wrapping hands and being around fighters?
Well, I've never wrapped hands of world-class fighters because we never got to that level. But how does that
any fighter that's just your special fighter?
Who's my favorite fighter in the game?
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, even though he's retired.
So basically, let's put it like this. If you was wrapping Floyd Mayweather's hands or had any interaction in this camp, right, and you've been around him and you know, he be calling you by name and, you know, you have communication, y'all have a pretty solid rapport. You know what I'm saying? And this is all I'll be, you know, attempting to explain to these people, that when you degrade the character of an individual off his words from a fight, and you make it personal that bleeds over into his household, that's why I got an issue with it, because I've been around the man several times. I seen him shut down buildings, you know, give interviews. He's a very good dude. But when I get on here and people talk about him, the only thing they want to do is keep the you know, the same cliche terminology, you know, a fanboy, and use dick all the time. And I'm kind of like questioning, you know, what's their mindset when they go to sleep? Are you thinking about dick, or are you thinking about your woman? I don't know, because every time Deontay Wilder's name come up, the same thing happens. And I'm telling you, he's a good dude. He's a really good dude. He's a good dude. It's no fanboyism, you know, when you got grown ass men supporting fighters, just like they support Canelo Alvarez, just like they support Tyson Fury, Dillian White, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez. It's funny how I support Teofimo Lopez heavy. I support him before he even came champion, but they don't want to talk about that shit. When I come around, they want to talk about Wilder. And that just goes to show you how extremely biased and instigators they are, because they're not trying to keep it at peace. They just want to bring on a subject, have enough people join in on a negative torchlit parade, and then it gets off boxing. It gets more so on personal, you know, aspersions.
Are you talking about this platform tonight?
No, not your platform. It's been good to go.
I got you.
I'm just saying, in general, I don't have all the answers for Team Wilder. I don't. But I'm just saying, I am looking forward to him coming back to the sport. I do feel deeply that he is still #1 heavyweight up there. And the reason why he's in court is not for the Mark Breland situation. It's the contractual enactment of him and his rematch for Tyson Fury that expired last year. And Bob Arum wanted to attempt to say that it didn't matter if it was pandemic, it still expired. So they're in court, and people thought it was going to be easy as check go. It's not, and that's what's holding up everything with them. They have to go through court.
Okay, so a few things there. For example, the fact that you know this guy to be a good guy, and like I said, I've stated in my past videos, okay, that this Deontay Wilder people was talking about, it's not Deontay Wilder outside the ring. I've stated that. I got the paper receipts, the electronic receipts. Once we finish this live, go back and check them all out. I've defended what you just said. I've defended that. We need to make a separation, a conscious and logical separation, a mature separation between the father, the son, the husband from the fighter, right? My only question is this. If I was an influential person, okay, let me bring it back to your original question. If I was close with Floyd, and Floyd was going through these same situations, if I was concerned with Floyd, I'd be like, Floyd, I think that once you call 78, I think you should go ahead and throw this little disclaimer on there so we can kind of clear all this stuff, because unfortunately people are making a connection to you, and with you being quiet, unfortunately, they're still going to make a connection to you. I truly believe, trust me when I tell you this, that if Deontay Wilder, during one of those phone calls, had he taken 15 seconds to make a disclaimer, talking about like, or bringing peace to this whole fake racial narrative that was flowing around his name from the very channel that were supposedly defending him, I truly believe 6,000 videos would have not been made in regards to this subject. I truly believe that his name could have not been linked, no matter how hard they tried. They could have never linked Deontay Wilder to this stuff. But unfortunately, they did. And unfortunately, the very people, and you know who I'm talking about, World Comeback. I know you know who I'm talking about. The very people that did 100,000 videos in regards to this subject, quote unquote, in defense of the champ, they were riding on Deontay's back, making him his piggy bank, cashing off his name, and mixing him on things that I guarantee you Deontay Wilder had no part of. And I think you know what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about.
I don't actually. I mean, it was so many people that's been continuing to keep his name in their mouth when a lot of these people don't support him.
Correct. We landed in the same landing strip. A bunch of these maggots that are out here making videos. We support the champ. They don't support Deontay Wilder. They see a bunch of clicks, thumb ups, super chats, subscriptions in his name, and they going after it. My point is that this very people are a part of the very group that some of the people Deontay Wilder is relating with through phone calls. And shouts out to 78. I got nothing against them. The brother's always respected me, and I've always shown him I got to give him the same thing he gives me, which is respect. Matter of fact, in my 6-year break from YouTube, the only man that called me 2 years after my absence to check on me was him. So this is nothing against 78. My whole thing is during those conversations, World Combat, can you imagine? And by the way, thank you for showing your face. Can you imagine for a second had he said a disclaimer in regard to that? Can you imagine how many of those fake videos would have not came out with a strong foundation to him? Because he leaves people to wander. Because the champ ain't saying no to it. You see what I'm saying? So if people are saying, yo, World Combat is racist as hell, man, blah, 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 but World Combat is silent and World Combat isn't a racist, anytime I come up with a video, it gives people the ambiguous decision to say he is or he isn't. But imagine if World Combat Sport will come out in a conversation right now and say, hey, Ranger, by the way, if you don't mind, I'd like to take 15 seconds to clarify. I am not a racist. I don't think Latinos hate me. I don't think you know what I mean? Can you imagine how many videos about World Combat Sports being a racist would have stopped, would have been prevented? Had he made at least a disclaimer in regards to that matter? That's another one of my issues. It's like, yeah, man, you're very influential. You got the power to maybe not stop it completely, but delete a lot of the credibility behind that stuff. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. I know you are getting what I'm saying.
Hey, I understand, but hey, wasn't to be clear, wasn't when that wave was hitting, that wave was hitting the YTC. It was the fact that it was certain channels making comments about Canelo Alvarez, and then they decided to make comments about Deontay Wilder, who was on that side as a prominent name that they used to report on, vice whatever Latino channels, Hispanic channels was reporting on Canelo Alvarez. Isn't that the clash that was going on? It wasn't too much, Deontay Wilder, just a one-way shot. I think it was a bilateral type of thing going on.
It was a bilateral type of thing, but I still go back to Wilder taking his name out of that. See, because we can't stop people from talking, but we can stop people from talking with a bit of credibility behind what the trash they're saying. Because by Deontay Wilder coming out, issuing a disclaimer, I'm not suggesting at all that people would have stopped talking about that. What I am saying, though, how credible would they be when I can always have that video as reference? Hold on. I clearly heard Deontay Wilder said he doesn't mix with that. He's not in agreement with that. He doesn't think like that. So you can say with that, you can say that as many times as you want, but I've already heard it from the champ.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying now?
gotcha.
You might
And you
stepping off of
hey, you around the champ, might as well take the opportunity to express that to him. I don't need to champion this channel. I don't need no recognition. You don't even have to tell him where you heard it. I'm simply saying Deontay Wilder, the boxer, not the man. Because you know who else has praises to talk about Deontay Wilder? King Kong Ortiz. King Kong Ortiz said that man is a great man. Right? That man, the conversations we had with translators, that dude is a good dude. I've heard Deontay Wilder being a good friend, a good husband, a good father. That's why I've always made the decisions to tell people you need to separate. Make a conscious decision to separate Deontay Wilder, the man, with Deontay Wilder, the fighter.
Absolutely.
I just see people, you know, I don't sit up here and prove anything to anybody. You know, they can say what they want. They want to say Deontay Wilder dick ride all day. Grown ass man saying that, but at the end of the day, I'm retired. I don't get up in the morning. And when I come on here, when I hear that and hear the same people laughing like Troy, it don't do me anything. It don't serve no purpose.
I'm laughing at what you said. I'm not laughing at you.
Troy.
I'm laughing.
Find another channel that has a PBC jacket like this. And then, you know, I'll entertain what you're talking about. I entertain every time y'all say I'm a Deontay Wilder fanboy.
I never said that. I've never once been disrespectful to you.
Find somebody else with this jacket, and then we can get somewhere. If you can't do that on this entire YouTube except me, then y'all need to stop saying that every time I jump on the panel, bro.
Okay, World Combat. I've never said anything like that to you ever.
Yeah, you do. You always laugh every time I say Deontay Wilder fanboy. Like that shit is just like 8-year-old.
That doesn't mean nothing. I mean, I laugh at a lot of things. I've never disrespected you all, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all good, bro. Moving on.
No, it's not. I mean, because you're trying to lump me in with something else. Every time we've ever spoke, we've had some firm conversations, but it never got to the level.
Being you on his panel, Troy. I just said
I got that. I'm trying to clear something up with
to him about the Deontay Wilder fanboy.
You trying to lump me in with these people who talk about dicks and so forth when they talk to you. I've never done that.
That stuff by laughing all the time. I seen you.
I don't instigate a goddamn thing.
You like dicks. Every time you hear the word dicks, it makes you giggle. I'm like, come on.
I'm not laughing. Listen, I'm not laughing at you. I'm in agreement with you that these grown ass men are saying that. That's what the laugh is for. Maybe you should ask the question before you. Thank you. Maybe you should ask a question before you accuse somebody.
But see, Troy, stop acting like you innocent, man. You've been on several panels where you.
I've never said I was innocent. You changed. No, stop it.
No, I know you can't.
You always take that tone. I've never said I was innocent. I'm simply being the man that I am. I kind of hold you in a certain way, so I don't really. And plus, you know, to be honest with you, I actually hold myself in a certain way first and foremost. I don't talk like that to you. You have never spoken like that to me. So I don't know why I just didn't appreciate you trying to lump me in with all that nonsense, because the facts are the facts. The same voice I'm having with you now is how we always speak, but it always ends with some respect, and you can't deny that one.
It's all good, man. We're moving on.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, move on.
Before we move on, I quickly want to give thanks to those that are supporting the channel through Cash App, Andres Rodriguez, and then there was another one. Let me see, because I really don't want to leave nobody out. And Eric D Style, I want to thank you guys for the support on the channel. Moving on, I think we are having a very productive conversation, dialogue, exchange of ideas, however you want to qualify it. I do think, Davi, you have anything to say? And then Major Key before we move on.
Yes.
And by the way, Bomb Squad, thank you for clarifying certain things. Go ahead, Davi.
You know, once more, I would love to see this guy fight again, man. You know, I think he has that. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, so he's like my home run hitter. You know, he's that that old guy there that, you know, a base is loaded, he strikes out 10 times, you know, Giancarlo Stanton. and bam, there goes the ball.
Gotcha.
And that makes him dangerous. At the same token, I think it makes him a little cocky and a little like he don't pay attention to certain details in the ring, because he's just like, okay, you can hit me, whatever it is, jump around, but I'm gonna catch you. And when that don't happen, he gets desperate. Now, just to mention something, and I don't want the gentleman think that I am like, mocking him or anything like that. But he mentioned that yes, he lost in the amateurs. That's two different things though, because what happened with Deontay Wilder, he built up an aura of invincibility in a professional, and rightfully so. He was knocking people out. I don't care if anybody wants to say it was third level fighter, C level fighters, whatever it is. He was knocking them out.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in front of him, he was dropping them. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden now he came and he gave this guy a shot, and he saw the problem he had in the first fight, and this happened in the second fight. I think that shook him up a little bit. And therefore that's when now he's like, oh well, this happened, or this different situation and the corners and stuff like that. But beside the point, I wanted to just reinforce that what I have seen of him, and I never seen personally, but just like in interviews and stuff like that, he is a good guy. You mentioned something, King Kong Ortiz. Ortiz and him, I remember the interview, I think it was in the first fight, when he said, listen, I gave King Kong because we have something in common.
The daughters.
My daughter, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And he gave King Kong the opportunity to have that money to take care of his daughter. That's not a mean guy. That's a guy with some heart. And also did the same thing with Tyson Fury, because he was down in that hole where he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, listen, he will be willing to fight him, to bring him out. You understand? So he can get on his 2 feet. And he did, and I don't think that's a bad guy. I think, to me, he has too much of a heart. As a man, he has too much of a heart. Now probably he took that into the ring, and maybe that affected him a little bit. That's why I said they shouldn't have taken his edge off in the second fight, because he needs that edge. He needs that edge that he wants to knock people out. I'm going to take your head off, yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Hey, man, listen. At the end of the game, let's hope his head is in the right place. Let's hope he come back, and let's get the fight on. I think that's what's going to happen. I believe Tyson Fury and AJ, I don't think it's going to happen. I think at the end of the game, it's going to be him and Tyson Fury, and then AJ comes after.
Give that man a bag or something monetarily.
That's my belief. I'll be honest. Honestly speaking, that's my belief.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So, Major Key, anything to say on this, brother?
I mean, we could move on. Just drop the link, because I think there's a couple people that probably want to jump on. You know what I'm saying? But no, I respect the fact that again, this is a grown man conversation, man. Like,
bring it in. Come on in, Punch.
Yeah, I've seen this debate on many platforms. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep everything peaceful on mine, and I see that you do the same raw boxing. That's why I invited people to your platform, because I already know how you rock, bro. You know what I'm saying? And no, it's all love, bro, because it's the same way that I invite people. People don't know, but I invite people to, like World Combat. I invite people to his platform. You know what I'm saying? If Troy Graham would have had a platform, I would have invited people to his. You know what I'm saying? Whenever somebody got a platform going, bro, and I fuck with them, I always send out links, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
you. And you know, it is what it is, man. Like there's some great minds. You know, even if we disagree, even if we agree to disagree, or there's a hard stop to a conversation because people don't really want to talk. Sometimes people just don't get along. Sometimes people just really don't get along, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as long as we're respectful with our content, then this is what the casuals that don't know any boxing, we're teaching them. We always have to be responsible in that matter. That there's some people looking on that they won't even say nothing in the comments, but they subscribe and they watching. They won't drop not one comment. You know what I'm saying? They may drop a super chat in a year from now, but they've been watching you for a year. You don't even know who what their names are.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But they watching, they learning. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be responsible about that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that, I understand that, and that's why I like when we are able to have this dialogue the way that we're having it right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I disagree with World Combat a lot about Wilder, the whole thing, but I do love Wilder, and I understand why World Combat loves Wilder too. But I just disagree about the Glovegate thing. That's the only thing that I disagree with. Everything else that he says about Wilder, I fucking agree 1000%. With other people that be hating on Wilder, I disagree with them 1000% because I feel like they're just like going at it with some hate. You know what I'm saying? And not really realizing that you know that the man still it only has one loss. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hate on him like that neither. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm kind of caught in the middle. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, you know what I'm saying? But I still respect everybody's point of view. So as long as we talk respectfully to each other, you know what I'm saying, and not like we like we children. You know what I'm saying? We all grown men. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I love it. So I just pause when it comes to that, man. Because until you get to the next topic, when we're done with the Wilder conversation, I'm pretty sure we'll get into some new shit that'll expand everybody's mind. You know what I mean?
Mr. Moonshine, aka El Adobo, El Sazón.
Dímelo, mi gente.
What's good, bro?
What's good, everybody on the panel?
It's good.
Chilling. So we're talking about Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, we basically World Combat Sport jumped in here. One, because he wanted to know why I called him a fanboy. Once in what was it, in your video or some other video on World Combat?
I think it was on Punch Panel.
And then he also wanted to answer a few questions about Deontay Wilder. All you know, we brought up some questions. We've had some back and forwards. I think right now we're pretty much. I think we're ready to move on from Deontay Wilder, unless you got any questions to ask Punch. Before Punch goes, let me ask you something, Bomb Squad. How much fault do you see on Deontay Wilder when it comes to the opinions of people out there towards him? We've already talked about the silence having something to do with giving a free range to people's comment. But how much fault do you see on a fighter that makes this sort of accusations? Like, let's go over the accusations so we can move on from this. Egg weight, the suit, the water, the gloves, the hand wraps. And I think that's it, unless there's something else that anybody wants to remind me of.
Yeah. You touched on something I wanted to jump in when you were talking about the back and forth about race and so forth, right? I want to touch on that before you move on, but go ahead, World Combat. Go ahead.
So how much, with all that, you know, considering all of that, how much fault can we put on Deontay Wilder when it comes to people's perceptions or the way people mix him on certain things that he necessarily has nothing to do with, or along those lines?
Well, those remarks are relatable to him. He was in the ring. So the amount of damage that he took, he did take extensive damage, and he was still fighting to the end until the towel hit the canvas. So people are going to criticize it because they can't relate to it. You know, when they say the gloves flapping around, people can't relate to it because, you know, they was pretty much not really supporting the champ in the first place. But then you want to give him reason to fuel the fire, and Deontay Wilder loses his belt and loses for the first time in his career. It comes down to him so-called making these very deep soil excuses that just doesn't resonate with the fans. But I look at it like this, man. He said what he said. He had reason for saying what he was saying. That's the only thing I can say. Like the reason, once again, the big deal of everybody's trying to speak on Mark Breland is the same people that was criticizing his team when he was out there winning. They were saying, get the hell off the, fire his whole team. They're useless. Mark Breland was a part of that team. So therefore, they was talking about Mark Breland like a dog. But yet when he got fired, they want to act like he's a stray. Come on up. Come on over here. We'll talk to you. I mean, you wanted him fired from the stable. He gets fired for throwing in the towel. Period. Point blank. Period. People should understand that. So now it's up to this right here. When he wasn't talking to the media, he did a brief interview with PBC. He said very little. I say that's good. You don't need to say too much. And then he spoke to 78 Sports TV because they've been knowing each other for quite some time, and that's where his trust lies. A lot of people may not agree with that, but that's a grown ass man, 35 years old. He can talk to who he wants to, but ultimately it's going to be up to him to change up what he needs to head into this fight. If him and Tyson goes into this trilogy, if he needs to throw more punches and spin up his combinations, I'm pretty sure they get that taken care of. I mean, that's all I can say about it.
So before I let Punch chime in on this, I do want to make a very clear distinction because I don't think it's fair that we move on without making a distinction in what you just said. Some things you just said. Wanting Mark Breland fired for not, quote unquote, knowing how to train Deontay Wilder is a world apart from from saying it's not fair that he's fired because we don't think he spiked the water. I feel that by saying it in the way that you just said it, it can lead people to believe that perhaps he's guilty on spiking the water. And I think those are two things that need to be clearly separated. Because one thing is maybe this trainer doesn't know how to train this fighter. He deserves to get fired. And the other one is, wait a minute. Why are you saying that this dude spiked the water? Why did you fire him? Because he saved your life. We need to separate those arguments, right? Now, I don't think he said a little. Again, I repeat, when you go on YouTube and when you make a separate video explaining everything, that's not saying a little, especially a man with an impact of his magnitude, right? I think we both agree that if Deontay Wilder puts out a video, it's going to hit at least over 100,000 people, right? I think we both agree on that. So when you come up with a video talking about glove gate, talking about hand wrap, talking about egg weights, that's not saying a little. That's saying a lot, and that's saying it to a lot of people.
Well, I'm speaking about him being on multiple panels.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He wasn't on multiple panels. That's what I really meant.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead. Got Punch. Anything you want to say on this?
Hold up 1 second, brother. I just want to say something on something you spoke on before. Then I'm jumping off here. I'm sorry, okay. Punch. Yeah, you spoke on, I think it was the back and forth with the race and blah 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 blah. Here's my stance on that. Black, whether you black, you white, or you Latino, every boxing panel has this group that says, I'm pushing for this white dude or black dude or this other dude, Latino dude, simply because, right? Mm-hmm. It's just that I'm going to say me. I'm just going to say me. I pay more attention to the ones who look like me, and I'll take them to task more than I'll take anybody else to task because they're supposed to represent me. That's their stance, right? Mm-hmm. And when all you do is represent bullshit, it doesn't just look bad on you because we're all thrown into the same thing. As you know, if you have one bad Latino, everybody looks at all of them bad, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my passion for it. But we can't fixate on, okay, it's just the blacks, it's just this. And here's the reason why. There's a lot of damn power being left out there. Think if all of y'all can come together. Because, I always hear this word thrown around when it comes to this YouTube thing, which I'm not on, called community, right? Think about that. There is no community. Let's just say that you all got together and you all actually formed a real community. Think of all the people you could touch. Y'all could even start something powerful, man. And you'll be able to move everybody, not just the whites with the whites, the blacks with the blacks, and the Latinos with the Latinos and so forth and so on. You could move and touch everybody and so on, but that's not being done. And that's the power that's being left on the floor right there when it comes to this podcast. I think everybody's thinking about me and my small pond instead of thinking that you could be a big ass whale in the ocean, right? So that's
I
how
think
I'm looking at
I
it.
think in this small pond since 2008,
Mm-hmm.
I've always made it very clear that in this small pond, if the best in the world is a Chinese, I'll give him praises for being the best in the world, even though he's Chinese. Same thing for black, white, or anything. I think I do agree with you up to a certain level.
That's cool. All
But
right, well, I'm bouncing, man. All due respect, yeah, I'm gonna bounce, and I see you tomorrow, Punch. And Scotty, you pissed me off today by trying to test my character, but it's all right. It's all right, man.
Bye.
Yeah.
Can I do something real quick before Punch jumped on?
Oh, come on, hurry up, because
Real quick, just listen, one of the questions that because and the gentleman said that he's going to ask have like a video with Deontay Wilder. Also, maybe you could ask him if he could clarify that he fired Mark Breland for throwing in the towel for nothing else. That could help a little bit. That's it. That's all I had to say.
All right, Davi, I appreciate you, man, for being here. Punch. Finally, let's see if anybody else wants to cut you. Jump in.
Well, I just wanted to ask. I'm just fucking around, yo. What up, Punch? Well, Punch. It's on you.
A couple of nights ago, I was talking about this. And see, me as a fan, I like to respect. I like to get to know the fighters. Even you don't meet them, you don't meet all of them, but you like to get to know why they in it, their story. I think that's what's missing in boxing. There's no storyline no more. The writers, the promoters, whatever. There is no more knowing the fighters. A lot of people just see fighters as some pit bulls and chickens. No disrespect to the animals, but it's almost like they're all robots. Like they don't got like they ain't human, right? Muhammad Ali, people say he was the greatest, right? But it's not only he was the greatest because what he did inside the ring is what he did outside the ring. Same thing. I grew a fan for Manny Pacquiao because of the man that he is outside the ring. Just as equally that what he is inside the ring. With Deontay Wilder, what gravitate to me being a fan of him was what he did in the ring. The Olympic year, that was my favorite. My favorite year, the 07, 08, that was my favorite. Like if you listen to a lot of my favorite fighters, it comes from that. Demetrius Andrade, Keith Thurman, Gary Russell, Deontay Wilder, the Charlo brothers, Terrence Crawford, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia. That class right there was my favorite class. So if you hear me talk about my favorite fighters, and that it comes from that class. Deontay Wilder has relatable things that I relate to. His spiritual connection or belief, Jesus Christ, and also him being a father and fighting for his daughter and things of that nature. I said this a couple of days ago. I said Deontay Wilder, I believe so from outside looking in that he's too loyal for his own good. People start looking at fighters like what they have to accomplish in the ring. But also, when I look at Deontay Wilder, he referenced the Bible, he referenced scripture a lot. So when I talk about Deontay Wilder, I look at him and I refer the scripture right back to what I think of him. I believe that Deontay Wilder has a purpose. We all know Deontay Wilder was not in boxing to become the next Muhammad Ali nor Mike Tyson. He walked into boxing to take care of his daughter, to save his daughter. And he did it fast. He was knocking everybody out. Even the times when he was injured and had surgeries, hand surgeries or whatever, he was never outside the ring for more than a year. He was fighting 5 to 6 times a month. Injury. I respected Deontay Wilder for that. I related for Deontay Wilder with that, with scripture, how he feels. My fault. How he feels. And I think that Deontay Wilder, his purpose was also was more of helping people and their health. his daughter, Luis Ortiz, daughter. He kept Mark Breland around because of his health. He looked out. If you look at 4 years ago when he did the TMZ interview, they asked him, he said, I would drop anything right now while he was in rehab with his arm. I would get out of rehabbing my arm. I would drop anything to help out Tyson Fury. Y'all could check it out. A lot of people I forgot about that interview, TMZ interview. That's what he said. He would drop everything he's doing right now to help out Tyson Fury. So this man was worried about Tyson Fury's health, and he was sacrificial to that. He sacrificed, because remember, boxing is you sacrificing your life. You sacrifice for Luis Ortiz. He could have had a bigger fight. Could have had a bigger fight with Anthony Joshua. He sacrificed for his daughter. He sacrificed for his own daughter. He sacrificed knowing that he probably couldn't elevate in skills, but kept Mark Breland around because he said Mark Breland had problem with his health, and he kept him around, didn't want to fire him. So he didn't worry about himself or elevating. He wanted to keep, he was loyal, wanted to keep Mark Breland there because he was looking out for Mark Breland. He looking out for JD because JD is probably the only guy that actually believed in him when he walked into the gym and helped him out. And JD got Mark Breland for him. So that comes, in being too loyal, maybe being too loyal for your own good. So Deontay Wilder's purpose, in my opinion, because I believe that we all have a purpose. While fans think his purpose may be to be this world champion and stuff like that, I do believe that his purpose was, to help out, to help everybody's health and be sacrificial. We all are servant of God, right? And I do believe that he think that, to believe that his father is a minister, a pastor, things of that nature. So I know where his spiritual lies. I know where his heart lies. He always referenced scripture. So I believe that maybe down the line, after the Tyson Fury fight, maybe his loss was actually everybody's win. I think deep like that, because to me in boxing, I always say, ever since I started my journey in covering boxing, or in the YouTube, you could say, is boxing translates to life itself. It was never just about what goes in the ring, but everything else. It's uplifting the fighters. Yes, in my opinion, I didn't agree with the excuse, but I'm not here to kick a dude when he's down, because if we understand the history of the sport of boxing, 90% of boxers have an excuse, whether it's the tiniest excuse of the world to the Foreman excuse that you may believe of the world. It's very rare you see a fighter say, man, the better man won. It's very rare to hear what Carl Frampton said or what Joshua Greer said after the fight. That's very rare. The pressure of being a fighter is not your pressure. It is not. It's not comparable. It's not comparable. When they say it's a lonely sport, it's a lonely sport. And this is a sport where the product is looked upon like superheroes to their friends, their family. You know what I'm saying? Even the lowest ranked fighter in your neighborhood, what you call him? What's up, champ?
What up, champ? Without being champs.
Without being champ. What up,
they can
champ?
Have 10 losses. They can have 10 losses. What up, champ?
Hey, they could be ballroom fighters. What's up, champ? In that neighborhood, he's the fighter. He's the guy that you can't mess with. The lowest ranked fighter, but you know that he fights. That's that guy in the neighborhood.
Facts.
So imagine the amount of pressure of the Tyson Furies and the Deontay Wilder, and also the mental and the mental fatigue that this game has. How many fighters fall to depression? How many fighters contemplating suicide? From Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, George Foreman, all these guys. I can mention all these guys. The greats of all greats have have depression during and after their career and have contemplating suicide. Why? Why, after all the greats of the greats are going through these things?
Depression.
And so when I look at, he might be a guy that's depressed right now on Deontay Wilder. I don't know. I'm just saying from the outside looking in, and I won't be shocked if he was. What did Keith Thurman said? I ballooned up to 200 pounds. I was depressed after the Manny Pacquiao fight.
True.
It's a tough sport, and if you love the sport, you try your hardest to understand the fighters. Now you can't understand every fighter. There's too many fighters. But then if you have your favorite fighter, then understand your favorite fighter. I don't like the aftermath of what might be allegations or excuse, but I'm here for the fighter. I'm a fight fan. I love fighters. They're modern day warriors, modern day gladiators. And I think collectively and generally, we treat our fighters like shit. We don't care about them. We don't care what we say about them in these airwaves, knowing that most of us won't even dare to do what they do.
True.
So that's what I'm gonna say about Deontay
True.
Wilder.
Okay. So in regards to this, so we can move on to the next subject, and we can actually start bringing this to a close. In your opinion, do you that part of the reason that the man has the undeserving or deserving hate, however you want to qualify it, in this YTBC is because of the simple fact of the excuses, making certain allegations, but also not coming and clarifying certain things? Or what do you think that?
Look, if we in the YTBC and this is a community, then we know what is what. And there's a group that has a reputation, and we're not dumb. There's a group out there that has a reputation.
I'll say YTBC, even though not all of them are like that.
Whether it's right or wrong, is a reputation. You know what I'm saying? And the reputation is racist, is pro this, anti everything else. And let's say, for example, me, I was like, forget what everybody's saying. I want Deontay Wilder to come out and talk. Can't wait for Deontay Wilder to come and talk. But yeah, I still made a video and said, I hope when he does talk, he debunks everything that's out there. But when he came out, he didn't debunk. He added to the flames. So all I could say is, I do believe that a lot of people respect Deontay Wilder, but it's like sports. They don't respect the fan base. I hated Michael Jordan, not because of Michael Jordan, it's because I was a Knicks fan and all my friends were Chicago fans, and I didn't want to go to school after we got beat. I don't want to hear your mouth.
Yeah.
Same thing as if you're a Yankee fan, you hate the Red Sox and you hate the fans. Vice versa.
Hold on, you a Red Sox fan?
Nah, I'm worse. I'm a Cleveland Indian fan.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I got my
1948. I'm a Cleveland Indian fan. Kenny Lofton, my favorite player.
I hear you.
Oh, but
Albert Bell.
Yeah, I think when it comes to I think the fans, and of course, everything that's surrounded at post the Fury fight is why he's probably getting that much hate. But let's not forget, this guy's the same guy that invited to the White House for that for the Jack Johnson thing. The Pope invited him. He's respected around the world. I just think that his brand took a hit. And he let it take. He let it. Because if I would have stood shut for like 8 months and would have seen, what the allegation and what people were saying, you know what? If I'm gonna go to court, let me just go to court. Let me handle my business. Everybody, just like we don't know what's going on in arbitration. I would have kept it that way. I just would have let my lawyers handle it, and I'm gonna come out and speak about boxing. If I saw in that span of 7-8 months how people took in the excuse and the allegations, I got a brand, So, but that's just me.
But Punch, they was vilifying him when he fought Fury the first time. Before he fought Fury the first time, they was vilifying him. He was getting that type of energy. It only boiled over once he stepped in there for the rematch with Fury.
I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I mean, I was going for Wilder the first and the second fight. So, I think in the first fight, I wasn't too much. I think that was a breaking point, you know, when I say, you know, I got to do this YouTube stuff because these people out here, like,
I think,
but I think I just think that when these fighters switch to the PBC, and no pun intended to the PBC, but these other fighters got a promotional company that's working around the clock, got PR firm, and you know, establishing their brand and keeping it relevant and cleaning things up when it's wrong or whatever. And you know, these guys at PBC, they don't got a promotional machine behind them. They got to do everything. You know, they got to clean up their own mess. They don't got no PR. They got to promote themselves. Everything they do is on them. You know, and I think that, in my opinion, I don't know. I always thought that Deontay Wilder was a you know, I think he was a good representative for American boxing. You know, that's the way I saw him. That's the way I saw him in the Olympics.
So what's the count on the days left for a venue? Are we at a week? Three?
They said yesterday they said 3 days. So right now this is the last day, Friday. I said 48 hours yesterday. So
okay.
Right now it's 24 hours. I said by Saturday they should have something. But it needs to happen. I think it's good for it needs for boxing. I think boxing right now has great momentum. And I think that all the power players should take advantage. Everybody that invests in boxing, all those power players that's supposed to be making this fight happen, they should take advantage and make the fight happen. You know what I'm saying? If the fighter signed, it's because the money is there. Or the fighters would have never signed. If the fighter signed, it's because the money is there. Now I think if people behind the scenes or the other hands in the cookie jar, they know they ain't gonna get the type of revenue that they think they're gonna get, and they trying to squeeze every cell of a cent in this magnitude of a fight. But this fight needs to happen, and they should take this as an investment as well. And the next time, just look at it, there's gonna be a rematch. It don't matter if whoever gets knocked out or stopped or lose, it's gonna be a rematch.
Facts. Now, so we can let the brother Deontay Wilder rest a little bit. Devin Haney, because this is something I haven't talked to Punch or nobody about. Give me your thoughts on this Haney versus Linares, because people keep saying, well, it's fair for people to think that it's too soon to go against the Linares. I personally think it's the right time. I think it's the right time to fight somebody like Linares, specifically after all the talking that the father, let me clarify that, the father, not the son, the father's been doing.
Punch sending that link out.
Let him send it. Let him send it.
Hey, when they dip their head like that link goes out, the bill. Shit. I was gonna ask you, I said, send the link out. This would be a good time for Bill to pop up and answer questions.
Yes, sir.
Nah, man, Bill.
Bill,
nah. We not in good terms.
Nah, we definitely not.
He's a fair man. I think he'll understand, and he'll.
It's not about being fair. It's about, you know, it's like when you know certain information, man, and let's say you know there's a fucking lie about certain things. I mean, then why stress it? You know what I'm saying? Why stress it and then try to it's almost how World Combat feels, right? If you know something about Deontay Wilder and you're trying to talk about something about Deontay Wilder, but you hear something that is out of pocket or is not accurate, but you know personally, you know it's not what it is, but everybody else that don't know that you don't have the information, they don't have the information that you got, but trying to tell you what it is, but you know that they know that you know. Why are you trying to make it seem like I don't know shit? Why are you trying to publicly tamper with my credibility? And
Yeah, I've
that's what
seen you get on him
Solid
with
point.
those things.
and that's what it is. It's like, come on, man. Like we do a lot of us do this shit for free because we love. We out here. It's what? It's 12 o'clock,
Yep.
right? Probably our wives want us to be in bed with them, and we're talking boxing here. So for me, I'm here to uplift. I want to be an instrument to uplift the sport of boxing, not to be Don't look at me like I don't know what the hell is going on. You know?
Well, I just didn't like the way that that me and him had the back and forth in your channel. I just didn't like the way he tried to play me as somebody one that doesn't
don't know. That's the problem.
When I'm telling him, dude, the problem you're having is I personally know the very person that taught your son how to box, and what you're telling me is BS. I personally know boxers that are way better than your son selling mangoes in the streets of Cuba. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. A punch. I mean, my platform is open, right?
You want to be transparent, and the thing about let's say the Haneys, they're very transparent. I mean, it's lucky that they do come to these platforms and they let us know the inside of the ins and outs, the business side of boxing. But also, you're not being accurate. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. The problem is like, oh, everybody is ducking me, and tell them that everybody is ducking us when you know that you in contract with Linares. Stop making it seem like you really want Fortuna, and Samson is calling you out like, here, $50,000, make the fight. Matter of fact, here's another $50,000 on top of that. Make the fight. I dare you to make the fight. Let me see if you got power. He's letting the fans know, like, you already know you're doing something with Linares. We already know everybody spoke to us about the WBC already spoke to us. Why are you making it seem like somebody's ducking your son to lose credibility? And I think that's what it is. You don't just keep it real. Just keep it real.
Yeah, he definitely didn't like the fact that we uploaded that video of Floyd Sr. And Curtis.
Oh yeah. But that's reporting, right? What are we? I'm not. That's reporting. I ain't putting my 2 cents into that video, right? That's an exclusive. That was an exclusive. And if somebody's giving a what we call ourselves probably independent media, that we getting some exclusive, I'm putting it out there. Or you telling me if I didn't get the sparring video of that, I'm not gonna put it out there either? No, I'm gonna put it out there. Don't get mad at me. And matter of fact, and to be honest, because you was on that panel, he set himself up because the man was talking highly about Haney and about him. He came in and went him personally for no reason. That's the reason why Kid Austin's dad wanted to set the record straight.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he liked the fact that Curtis forgot his last name. Curtis Meeks actually agreed with the fact that young Floyd rocked Devin in the second round. So I don't think he liked that at all either. But hey, it's part of the info, like you said. It ain't like we're giving our opinions.
That was them. We was sitting back listening.
We was enjoying the show.
I saw that one.
Boxing knowledge in the building. Give me your opinions on Devin Haney versus Linares. Is this the right time? So we can move on to Major Key. Then we can move on to Bomb Squad.
Hey, before I give you my opinion, Raw Boxing, I fell asleep. I just come out of a power nap, and you still grinding out here. And I appreciate seeing you out here grinding, bro. You haven't been around, man, for a while. So
I'm everywhere, man. Mississippi, Chicago, West Virginia, Tennessee. I'm constantly traveling, man.
Hey, man, nice to see you coming back strong, though.
All day, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, man. So look, my brethren, if this ain't going to be a step-up fight for Devin Haney, what is?
Facts.
This is the perfect opportunity to get Linares at 35 years old. I think he's 35 or 36. And to be honest, Linares' momentum has not been that great for the last few years. You know, his best performance was over 3 years ago with Lomachenko. I mean, Linares is a great fighter. I'm not saying he ain't accomplished a lot of things. He's accomplished as much as Terence Crawford, if you look at it. Right? So if we're going to talk about where he is today, I think, let's be honest. Linares is a good gatekeeper. If you want to say he's at B-level fighting, then we can give him that because of his name. But Linares' best days are done 4 or 5 years, 3.5 years ago, bro. Let's keep it on the buck, right? So this is Devin Haney's time to show everyone that, you know what? Devin Haney should be putting on a masterful performance. Devin Haney is expected to go in there all guns blazing. And Devin Haney better make that fucking statement. That's all I'm saying. All love to the Haneys. I've chopped it up with Bill Haney. We know Bill Haney can cap to Captain America. We know where he comes from. That's his promoting. That's his job. But let's keep it facts. If Devin Haney doesn't go in there, Raw Boxing TV, and give everybody a performance on an older Linares who's waiting for a paycheck, retirement time, then this is what I'm going to say. That it seems like Devin Haney might be having issues at elite level because Linares is not at the top of elite anymore. So he has to put on a masterful performance against Linares. No excuses, no controversy. But I believe there will be controversy in that ring. I think Linares is going to give it some. But that's my opinion. I think Devin Haney has no choice. It's all or nothing.
Does he need a knockout, in your opinion?
That's not Devin Haney's fighting style. Look, Devin Haney's like Paulie Malignaggi. He doesn't have the fucking fist. He doesn't have the power in the hands. He has to use his fighting style like Paulie Malignaggi used to. Right? Devin Haney reminds me of Paulie and few fighters
Paul
like that.
Spadafora.
Even Paul Spadafora. If you've heard of Paul Spadafora, if you're a hardcore fan, you saw that he had skills. But he just didn't have that punching power. Look, I'm not saying Devin Haney has the weakest hands at lightweight. But what I am saying is, let me see the performance against Linares. Does everybody in the chat, in the panel, think that he's going to push Linares back? Does anybody think he's going to win the game on the inside? Because he's going to have to. So, Raw Boxing TV, he's got to make a fucking statement, bro. He has to. Fuck all the cap. Fuck all the bullshit. I'm done with all the cap. Devin Haney has to make a fucking statement or he's in trouble.
Okay. Major Key.
Was good, man. Look, so when it comes to that fight, first and foremost, I think okay, it is a good step up fight, right? But it's not the greatest. The reason why, because because of the fact, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it up.
Keep it real, Major Key.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000% with y'all, man.
Don't make it McDonald's. Look, make it sure it's good.
No. I'm not bringing no. I'm bringing Longhorn Steakhouse, bro. I'm not bringing no fucking McDonald's.
Facts.
Listen. The fact is that if you're gonna talk that much shit, that Lomachenko ducked you, that Teofimo's ducking you, and you're gonna fight Linares as a step-up fight, right? So I don't give that much credit to him for fighting a Linares when he's out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty much like how many fucking knockdowns and knockouts has he faced? Come on, bro. Like you're telling me that Lomachenko ducked you and Teofimo's ducking you. Everybody's ducking you, and then you're telling me that you're gonna fight Linares, and that's supposed to be a great fight for me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense. It's not. We're speaking two different languages when you tell me that. Why are you gonna tell me that? Hey, listen, guess what? I could cook you. You know what I'm saying? The best steak you ever tasted in your life, but then when I go to your house, right? You got you know what I'm saying? You got some fucking tostadas or like you know what I'm saying? Some nachos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Taco Bell. Isn't it Taco Bell in your country?
Not the same
Taco
thing.
Bell.
Yeah. It's not the same thing, bro. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, okay, I get that you're stepping up finally with Linares, but that's not what you've been talking about. You've been talking about some other high level shit. And that's what I'm expecting out of it. If you're gonna talk shit about a Lomachenko, about a Teofimo, you talk about the top in the division right there. It was just because you got a championship sent to you? And then what you want to do is avoid the top fucking 5 fighters because you're calling out the top 5, but you're not fighting them, right?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You haven't fought anybody in the top 5 or the top 10. So now I'm supposed to believe that you're the best, and what you're supposed to convince me with is Linares? Nah, bro, I don't believe it, bro. You need more people, bro.
But
All right, go ahead,
can
man.
I just touch on? Can I just piggyback off of him, RawBoxing?
Okay,
Just
real
for
quick.
a quick second,
Go to
yeah,
Davi.
before I leave the building.
Okay.
In a minute. So this is what I'm gonna say. People say in the chat, Paulie was the magic man. Well, Devin Haney better fucking have some tricks. If Paulie was the magic man, Devin Haney motherfucking better have some tricks. Because otherwise, I'll call him no trick Devin Haney. At least Paulie Manny Malignaggi was the magic man. I want to see some fucking tricks from fucking Devin Haney, bro.
You want to see rabbit out the hat, huh?
Yeah. And another thing, Ryan Garcia at this point, everybody would agree, would probably stop Linares right now in where Linares is in his career.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So we got to get an exciting performance. So we can't have no Spool. What's his name? Spool Spanadora. I don't want to see no Spool Spanadora fucking performances. I want to see some good masterclass. You said
Paul Spanadora was a master, man. He only lost one time.
Yeah, who the fuck did he
49-1, man.
Fight, bro? Who did Paul Spanadora fucking
Hold on, let me check. This is what people do when they want to sound smart, like they know everything.
Hey,
they be like this, they be like this.
Bill Haney all the time, yeah. Bill Haney wears his Gucci, and he tells me, "Yo, rap star, my son's Gucci, you know. He better not give me no fucking FUBU. Don't sell me no fucking Gucci, bro, and tell me that I'll pay for Gucci, and you're giving me fucking FUBU." Like they're cooking Devin Haney, right, bro? Like he's the fucking Gucci of the division. Well, you better fucking perform like Gucci and don't give me no $20 fucking hoodie, bro.
Yeah, don't give me a champion hoodie.
Let me ask you, do you agree with me, RawBoxing?
I agree with you.
Sir.
Let's let the brother Davi get his pieces on this subject.
I like the way we said Spadafora's name. All right.
Yo, why people making fun of Spadafora, man? He was the man.
Well, listen, you know, I think maybe the only person in the group right now that has a little bit more trust in Devin Haney is me. Is because of I think he has good boxing skill. I think he has a high ring IQ also. Now, he may not be the hardest puncher, but the guy that he says was ducking him did something to Linares, which was taking him out, you know, with a body punch.
To Luke Campbell's.
You know, Loma took him out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Loma took him out with body punch, man, and it was an entertaining fight. He dropped Loma and everything like that, but he has to do something. He has to either hurt him. I'm not saying he got to knock him out, but he got to put such kind of a beating on this guy that, you know what, you got to show yourself. And remember, in the first time when I came on to your panel, I said to you, Devin Haney's not a champion. He's a belt holder.
I agree on that one.
You remember those words? He's a belt holder. To me, for you to be the champion, and if that belt is vacant, you have to go to a mini tournament, 1 against 4, 2 against 3, and the last 2 earn the title. Okay, now you're a champion. He never did that. This is the first time to me, because I think I could put Linares maybe in a top 5, top 6, around there roughly. You know, give and take.
Okay.
You know, but then again, you know, I mean, Linares just not too long ago lost by KO to Pablo Cesar Cano.
Yeah.
You know, so he have to do something. This guy is soft already. He's ready to go. He got to perform. He got to put on a heck of a performance. I expect him to do so. I trust he's going to do so. I hope Bill Haney is listening. I'm not hating on your son, Bill. I'm trusting that he does what you've been talking about. You said he's going to be like scared and this and that. Whatever.
It's going to be like Paul Spanadora, right?
Guess what? You know what I mean? If
Gonna have a good, decent career.
if he wins, but he only wins, let's say 1 point, unanimous decision. Look at that, unanimous, but only 1 point. I don't think that's saying much. To me, that's my own opinion. I don't think it's saying
49 wins, 1 loss, 19 KOs. Doesn't that sound like right in Devin Haney's potential lane? Come on, guys.
Sounds like it.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Two-time champion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I do see something great.
But then the WBC also takes a big blame on this because look, I can agree with you guys when you guys say that the WBC is having Ryan Garcia clean Devin Haney's mess. I can agree 100% with that. In my opinion, Devin Haney should be fighting this mandatory, a more credible opponent in Javier Fortuna. But I'm gonna give him credit for fighting Linares because Linares at least it's not as bad as Gamboa. Let's put it that way, right? But since I think we've all spoken on this already, and I really want to close this in the next 10, real quick. Colbert, Gamboa, easy or hard fight for Colbert?
Colbert, easy.
Oh yeah. I know Colbert's gonna win, but
I mean,
easy.
let's just put it this way: do we expect a better performance than what Haney put?
Were they
with
fighting at
Gamboa
130? Is a
versus-
catch weight because Chris Colbert's 130.
Yeah, but they're fighting at 130.
I think it's gonna be a 130. Gamboa's dropping to 130.
Yeah, Gamboa's going back to 130. So my thing is this: Colbert, he's fresh in the game. You know, this retirement check, Devin Haney wasn't able to provide him the retirement check. We saw Gamboa dancing at the end of the ring, knowing he's got a couple more fights. And this is for Gamboa's, this is how people use Gamboa now. You know, it's unfortunate. Let me just say this. It's unfortunate as a boxing fan, when Gamboa was the man, and if I'm not mistaken, he's an Olympian champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? When he was the guy, until 50 Cent fucked his career up.
Facts.
Put him against Terence Crawford for no reason, going up in weight, right? And totally mismatched that was, because that was a wrong fight for Gamboa. Gamboa was the man. People were behind him. Now people all of a sudden shit on Gamboa all the time now. That's another thing about boxing. Us fans, we also have to, have some accountability in that responsibility. That look how much shit Gamboa takes. But he's still there at 40 years old for his name to be used. Do you think that's good for Gamboa's legacy? At one point, Gamboa was the guy. Now they're using him in boxing, bro. He's like a hoe of boxing, bro.
Yo, I think they're moving him great. You got 2 opponents that's not known for knockouts. I mean, I think these are perfect opponents for him at this stage of his career.
Yeah, but bro, he should have retired a while ago, right? He fights for Colombia.
Yeah, but you know what though? There's some things that I'm not gonna say here. He can't retire right now. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, is there some personal things?
Yeah, he can't retire right now, and
maybe some financial shit.
No. Yeah, see, that's one aspect that people don't even know about Gamboa. Gamboa is good financially. He has invested his money well in Mexico.
Yeah, but you couldn't think any reason why he would want to go in a ring again. I mean, look, everybody, even in the chat, they think he's going in for the money. But if you think about it,
but that's part of the reason, though. I mean, we all get in there for the money, aside from glory and everything. But
that beating he took from Tank Davis was a bit embarrassing, bro.
It was.
I mean, you look at Gamboa, what he was, what he did to other guys, what he did to Salido, what he did to Martinez. He was a guy who was knocking people the fuck out, bro. And now you look at his performances and how he gets knocked the fuck out.
Let's call Jesse.
From my same block. I'm both.
His lifespan is not that good,
let's call Jesse, Ranger.
Which Jesse?
Gamboa's manager.
I don't have him. Hold on. I got you got?
I got him.
Okay, give him a call.
I let's give him a call. Let's see if we want to come to Ranger next week.
All I'm saying is before I
week.
leave with Gamboa's conversation with you is his lifespan for what he's achieved and the money that he's got. I don't know if his life is going to be good after boxing with the beating he's taking.
No. Me and Gamboa had a personal conversation on this.
Yeah, he's taking a beating nowadays, bro.
On this, I'm just saying he's not broke, and he can't retire right now. And he's not going to retire right now.
I'm saying that we need that Ranger Gamboa interview.
He's not going to retire right now, and you know why he's not going to retire right now?
Why?
You notice how quickly I jumped when Punch said I think they're moving him the right way. You remember how quick I said correct?
Yeah.
Because right now, with the exception of Tank Davis, it's easy money for very little. Do you think Haney did anything to Gamboa?
Man, he went to the club right after.
Exactly. Do you think Colbert is going to destroy Gamboa?
Yeah, but did you not see when I didn't mention the Haney fight? I said Tank Davis and those opponents which knocked him out in the past has put a bad, this is going to affect his life. You and me know raw boxing.
I know what
fighters.
you're saying.
You've been around fighters. He's 40 years old. If he keeps taking punishment, bro, this is not a nice way for a person to go out like Muhammad Ali did.
It's not. I know what you're saying, but
I mean, he's 40 fucking years old, bro. Come on.
I know right now he's not going to retire at least for a year or two.
Okay.
And I know that he's not hurting financially as people think he is. He's not a oh my God, I got all these millions. No, by no means. But he ain't hurting financially. And I do agree. I don't like seeing De Gamboa as a stepping stone. But I also got to be real. The Gamboa we're talking about never existed at 130 or 135. This was all Gamboa 126. Once Gamboa left the 126 division, goodbye. No longer was he a dominant fighter.
That's true.
No longer was Gamboa a dominant fighter outside of 126. Forget 35. Even at 130, he was never the dominant Gamboa we all got used to seeing. All right? So, hey, right now, I don't like the fact he's being a stepping stone. I don't like the fact he's getting hit left and right. Devin Haney didn't do anything. I don't think Colbert's going to put a lot of hitting, beating on him like a knockouts or whatever. But you got to think of the fact that in between those two fights, almost 40-year-old Gamboa is going to make just a little over $1 million between Haney and Colbert.
And he's also cutting weight at 40. And the liquid in the brain ain't the same when you're going to the championship round sometimes.
It's not, but
also he's going to gas out. He gasses out, and he's a different fighter today than what he ever was.
It's not, but you can also manage that through nutrition.
Yeah.
The way you lose the weight. Are you going to lose the weight by draining yourself, or are you going to lose your weight calories in versus calories out? How are you losing your weight? I don't think it doesn't matter how young you are in your career. I don't think losing the weight by dehydrating yourself to the extreme is healthy. Yeah, they do it all the time, but it's not the correct way to do it, to be honest with you. It's the lazy way to do it, because the right way to do it is how Hopkins did it. Is he fought at his weight division, and he would never rehydrate to no more than 7, maybe 10 pounds. And then right after the fight, he was right back to 5 pounds away from fighting weight. And he kept himself around 5 pounds away from fighting weight. That's why we saw such a healthy Hopkins, because he never lost the weight on water. It was all calories in versus calories out. So, but anyway, hey guys, man.
I'm a bounce, yo. Listen, I want to say one last statement, bro. The fastest way to lose fucking weight is by being with a Dominican chick for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I'm out. Respect to all of y'all, bro. Love you guys. All right.
All right, the major key.
You think that El Ciclón de Guantánamo can make 126 pounds?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. He's put on too much muscle. And you don't. He's not gonna drop fat and muscle that quick in that such a short span and do it healthy to where he can come out and perform. I think 130 is still at the safe range. But he has to be very careful on how he's going to go about it. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to get these fighters to come on. I know some of these fighters don't like me because of the way I present my concern, but that's fine. I mean, that's just perfectly fine. My content is still coming out, but whatever. But Punch, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up, brother? And then we'll move to Davi, then Rapstar.
Well, is early time. I'm going live right after.
Let's
I
go.
was supposed to go live a little earlier, but you know what I'm saying, wanted to chop it up with you, my brother. But I'm gonna go live after this. Happy Hour Thursday. For some of y'all, it's Friday. It's time to cook. El adobo, el
What you
sazon,
cooking, bro?
el what? Ciao.
Are you cooking fast food or are you cooking an 8-course meal?
8 course.
I'm giving you an 8-course meal with a midnight snack.
Let's go, bro. I'm tuning in, getting my coffee now. I'm getting my coffee, bro. I'm coming to join you.
Davi, Erasmo.
Yes, sir.
Peace out, my brother. Peace out.
I got to ask Punch something because he mentioned, I think it was earlier yesterday. Punch, you cracked me up.
Yes, my friend.
The one that started the race war, Punch.
Hey, my friend, what hot? It's crazy, man.
That's all I have to say.
I'm sorry, everybody. It's about unite, man. Unite.
Yeah. Hey, raw boxing.
Boxing knowledge,
Hey,
my
let me just say
brethren.
this, raw boxing. You better
The KKK is mad.
I want to keep seeing you out here, bro, on this YouTube. Don't go missing on us.
Oh no. I'm not quitting YouTube no more. It's just like I said, I mean, and Punch knows we talk whenever I'm out of town sometimes. I gotta manage from being out of town. And then when I'm in town, I got to manage from being a father, a husband, whatever, and then a content creator.
So when are you coming to my Raw panel? Have you been looking at my Raw panel? I'm waiting for you to come, bro.
On UK 47?
Either way, bro. Rapstar, boxing knowledge. UK 47 is a bit explicit, though. It'll get
Hold on, though. Whenever I'm driving, I don't listen to music. All y'all, D-Style, G-Funky, Punch, all of you guys are, and that's all I listen to.
Yeah.
That's all I listen to. I mean, Punch knows I'm not uploading video, but I'm constantly commenting on his stuff. I'm calling in D-Style's Punch and G-Funky's channel, but I gotta be real with you. I ain't gonna fake it. I have not caught you live. I have listened to your content, but not live.
Rapstar boxing knowledge. How dare he boxing Rapstar? How dare he?
Rapstar. Hey, listen, bro. You got to come over soon, all right? And
got you, brother.
You got to come over, and I need your knowledge there, and I need you to come and keep it real, yeah? But when people fuck around there, we don't take it.
Hey, you already saw me tonight. I don't care who comes to this panel. I'm going to put them on blast. I'm going to challenge them with questions in the most respectful manner, but I'm not going to buckle my knees to nobody.
Let's do
anyway, guys,
Let's do this.
Avi and Rapstar, I want to thank you guys for chopping it up here. I want to thank all of those of you that stayed here with me tonight. I want to ask you to, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't mind, grab the link to this video and drop it in your social media platform. You never know who's into this type of content. And I also want to ask you to stay tuned, subscribe to all these great channels that have joined me here tonight. Punch Drunk, G Funky, Major Key Boxing, Rapstar Boxing Knowledge, K47. Davi, muchas gracias por venir esta noche, mi amigo.
Gracias a usted.
Que tenga buenas noches.
Igualmente.
Peace out, everybody.